been wrong. I know.
What is up, YouTube? Whoa.
What is up,
I hit one too many
Twitch,
buttons.
Gab, World, iHeartRadio, all you motherfuckers out there. How was
Yeah.
your weekends?
Ours was pretty good. Watched some foosball. Watched the continuing decline of our country.
All very, very entertaining. High quality entertainment.
High quality.
High quality
the comedy.
programming.
Golden. Sorry
Before-
about today. I had a minor plumbing issue. Major
Leaks were installed.
minor. That's how it goes.
Before we get going out here, we got to make notice that Wes will not be joining us today because it is his birthday.
His birthday. Ominous Solo is birthdaying it up. He ain't gonna be able to make it.
Wes, if you are listening out there, your Red Lobster gift certificate's in the mail. Don't spend it all at one place.
Are Red Lobster's even open yet? I think they're all still shut. Happy birthday, Wes. Andrew Beaverson, welcome to the stream. Saying what's up to Sharon. Hey, Sharon's here once again. Who called the Super Bowl? I called it, but I called it wrong.
Yeah, I forgot that the Bucks were getting Vita Vea back, and how dominant he was the last couple games since he's been back.
Like I said, I had no idea that both of the starting tackles were not playing for the Chiefs, and it showed. Boy, did it show.
I unfortunately didn't get to watch the second half of the game. I was working, doing security at a bar for sort of like it was like a private party, and this dude had a wristband. He had too much. It was about 8 o'clock at night, and he's starting to harass the bartenders to serve him again. So I was like, all right, buddy, it's 8 o'clock. Give me 45 minutes. Drink a couple cups of water, and you'll be right back in the game. And he started wanting to make a fuss, wants his money back. That's not how shit works here, partner. So he says he wants to leave. And I'm like, all right, you can leave. You're not driving. I had his brother take his keys from him. And it was, just after the halftime show at this point. And I stood outside till the end of the game with this fucking guy. Had somebody call him an Uber. The Uber showed up. Dude wasn't want to get into it. I'm not going to fucking force him into the fucking Uber. I mean, he also, too, I forgot this part, too, that him and his brother came outside and they were fucking throwing some sloppy-ass fucking punches at each other. It was great. I got the one dude in a full Nelson, and then the cops turned down the corner. Put your fucking hands down now. Act like a big boy. The cops are coming. Everybody fucking straightens out for the cops to pass, and it's right back into the fucking nonsense.
Everybody looks sober.
Yeah.
Sharon said she called the Super Bowl.
Did indeed.
Only game I watched all year. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think I watched like 3 Bears games and then the Super Bowl.
I watched every Bears game. But did Sharon call it? Are we sure that there's not going to be an overnight dump of touchdowns and CNN declaring the Super Bowl for Kansas City?
Right at halftime, CNN said Kansas City won 35-7.
Super Bowl champion elect until it's certified.
Honey Badger says happy birthday, Wes. Little Mama says happy birthday.
Did anybody notice that nobody kneeled for the national anthem? Racism is over for Wes's birthday. Boom. No less.
Look at that. What better present?
Yeah.
What better present? Racism is officially over.
Yeah, it was terrible. I really wanted to watch some of that game. There's so many people inside. The windows were fogged up. I couldn't even get a glimpse of it until I peeked my head inside and saw that it was 31-9 with 3 minutes left. Like, Jesus.
Dude, Mahomes was like throwing passes laid out like fucking horizontally, perpendicular, like parallel fucking field and shit, still winging them. I was like, man, this guy's gonna be a fucking stud if he doesn't break in the next couple of years.
Yeah, he's got those Mike Vick sidearm throws. I saw a couple of those in the first half.
Yeah, literally, like he'd be diving to one side, parallel with the field, and just still winging them under his body. Almost hit a guy in the face and missed a touchdown in the last couple minutes. The team, you can kind of tell the Chiefs stopped playing in like the end of the third quarter. He was still playing, but he was getting his ass handed to him all day.
I missed the game.
24 rushes, 8 hits.
But I ended up getting compliments from a couple off-duty cops, which is pretty much the norm. But people seeing the way that I work and the way that, you know, I do this job, it's a lot different, and it's a breath of fresh air. And just want to say, you know, you guys can do it too, you know. I think Blizza said it in the pre-show when we were just talking to each other. You know, if you guys could just stop killing people, it would make my job a lot fucking easier.
Yeah.
Keep them drunk. You guys just stop killing them.
Right. I'll do my job and keep them drunk and out of the way. If you just stop killing them when they're on their way home, we'll be fine.
Making my job much harder than it has to be.
For sure. Yeah, the game was good for the first quarter. I'd say it was a good game, and then Brady was the only one that was doing good. You see, what's his name got a touchdown? Antonio Brown got a Super Bowl touchdown.
No, I missed that. I saw Gronk got the first two. How's old Bill Belichick feeling today?
Yeah, not so kosher. Arians is the oldest Super Bowl winning coach ever.
Yeah, that's a brutal one. He should have been the Bears coach.
For sure.
Years ago. We hired Mark Trestman instead.
Yeah, and instead he went to Arizona and tried to redo that team. Ended up not doing so hot there.
Yep. Could have had him a second time, but at that point, he'd already washed his hands of us because we hired Mark Trestman over him.
Yep. Mark Trestman.
We burnt that bridge.
The Hall of Fame coach, Mark Trestman, right?
He's got some great quotes that I love to put out there. Back in his first training camp, he ended up using this quote throughout his whole 2-year tenure, was that he was going to grow some men. That was his priority, was to grow men.
Trestman? Yeah.
Yeah, like nothing about the game. Like your priority has nothing to do with the game.
Right? Did he water them?
Because you're growing some men.
It's like when you get sod put in your front yard and you don't water it and it all just dies anyway.
Yeah, like how about you draft some men and you sign some men? Like if you're growing men, that means all you have is a pile of shit.
Yep. Yeah, I guess Belichick is checking his checks. He's got Turbo. What up, Turbo? Turbo says, "Hey there, Patriots."
Just on time, as we were just shouting out Bill Belichick and the Patriots.
Right? Perfect timing. Did Brady say he's coming back for one more?
He said he's going to play as long as he fucking can. I'm sure he's going to keep going.
I know Gronk said he doesn't see any reason why he won't be back.
Yeah.
So looks like that's the squad down there. If they can keep what's his name, the wide receiver, Evans.
Yeah. They just got to keep that offensive line as well, though. Keep Brady from getting hit.
Oh, yeah.
One hit's all it's going to take.
Their center reminds me of you. The ginger with the long hair. It's like always punching doors and shit.
I ain't ginger. Check yourself.
He's ginger.
Just for the record, my face is red. My hair is not. Just in case anybody thought that Big Red was some sort of a ginger reference. I'm spicy, delicious, like the gum. Think of the gum, not the ginger.
Yeah, we were just about to get into that halftime show, Turbo. Right on cue, buddy. What'd you think of the robot choir? Or did you see the halftime show?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. It was it didn't start out too too strange. The robot choir was sort of cool, but then it got interesting. Then
Yeah. As soon as
the
he went into the
obvious
light maze.
the obvious ceremony ritual shit fucking was unveiled for us. The jockstrap masks were outrageous.
Yeah, right. How many masks were they wearing? Was it like 10 masks? Is that what it was? Was that the new CDC guidelines?
Was
The
anybody
robot choir with the red eyes was kind of off-putting for me. I was like, wait a minute. And they had more performers than they did actual fans in the stadium, it looked like. How was that safe? But yeah, there's I don't know if anybody has been following The Weeknd at all, but over the last couple of years, he's been working on this character of his with the red jacket. So anytime he wears that red jacket and the gloves like that, he's in a character. It's not The Weeknd anymore.
Well, that's interesting.
And
That's very interesting.
yeah, and when it started with a music video, where he gets his ass kicked during a carjacking, and it ends up with him murdering two people in a elevator. But in the video, he gets all these bruises and scars on his face, and he's just covered in blood because he just got carjacked, right? And then at the MTV Music Awards, he had all his makeup done in the same spots, like the first time it was like a fresh cut that was bleeding still, and the second time he wore the outfit, it was almost like they were bruises and healing scabs instead of the open wounds.
Okay.
And then the third time, I believe it was another MTV Music Awards, he showed up with the diaper on his face like those guys had him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that it was an allegory for Hollywood and the constant need to improve yourself and the way you look and what you could offer in Hollywood, like the I guess the culture of Hollywood, what it promotes. And then he did, I'm not sure where he did it at, but he did another thing in the red jacket where he had like did you ever see that lady that turned herself into a cat with the plastic surgery and the big huge cheekbones?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he turned himself into one of those, like with prosthetics, and people were like, "Oh my God, look at what The Weeknd did to himself." You know what I mean? People were saying it was real. So that's where the red jackets and the face diapers and all that stuff comes from. It was his character, and this was I think this was the end of that character, like the crescendo of that piece. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he came out, instead of just a red jacket for the Super Bowl, he came out with like red sequin, like diamond jacket, basically. Kind of the same, being an allegory for his, moving steps up on the ladder.
Saying he's Bruno Mars now.
Exactly.
I've made it.
That's the story behind The Weeknd and his red jacket and diaper face dancers.
The Weeknd is over. It's mainstream and over.
It definitely was bizarre. Super bizarre. Kind of scary. Definitely satanic undertones, like always.
Mm-hmm. Every damn time.
Yep. And it kind of goes into this, depending on if Puxatawny Phil sees his shadow or not, you know what I mean? The beginning of spring, the beginning of rebirth. I think that's what most of the Super Bowl, what do you call it? The ritual at halftime is.
Yeah,
like a
halftime ritual
for rebirth.
We're not there yet.
It was definitely bizarre, though. I agree with you there, Sharon. And it kind of had to be. You know what I mean? With the age that we're in right now in the pandemic era, it couldn't have just been a regular halftime performance with cheerleaders surrounding the stage going crazy for some country music. You know what I mean? Turbo says, I thought they were luchadors, right? I just thought that that's where that, if you were a performer in Tampa Bay, you had to wear 10 masks at once, and they just didn't get it.
When they were all lined up in the field, I just thought he was ripping off fucking Thriller too hard.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people were saying that, too, that he was ripping off Michael Jackson and that he was wearing the glove and the red, Jackson's famous red leather jacket.
Yeah.
I think it was some of that, you know what I mean? And that kind of goes into the whole plastic surgery, changing the way you look to please the masses part of it. You know what I mean?
He was trolling Michael.
Yeah, he was trolling everybody. Because people did start putting out rumors that he did have plastic surgery, and he did that to his face, and he looked horrible. But he's one of those guys that goes all out every Halloween too with prosthetics. I think he did the Nutty Professor this year, and he looked just like him. It was crazy.
I told my daughter the weekend is over.
So yeah, if anybody out there was wondering what the deal was with the Weeknd and his red jacket and the whole thing, it goes back years. It's not like, just a plan for this month or anything. And it's all out there. You can go ahead and look at it, just Google it up, the Weeknd.
So what else went on?
Real quick.
I think one of the other big stories over the weekend was Mr. Lindell's videos that he put out.
Oh yeah, the My Pillow dude. Did everybody in the chat watch the 3-hour Mike Lindell? What did he call it? 100% proof?
Yeah, indisputable proof or 100% proof, some shit like that.
Yeah. I watched it. It was pretty interesting. I mean, if you've been following along since Election Day, it was nothing new, you know what I mean? It was that naval intelligence officer and his boss basically was just rehashing all the evidence that they had acquired up until now from back then. And if you'd watched all the hearings, the public hearings for all the states, none of it was new info. You know what I mean? He just put it all together.
And was immediately banned, blocked, and created a militant youth competitor in the pillow market.
Honey Badger says maybe there's something significant about the red jacket and gloves. Many performers have used that style combo. Yeah, I mean, of course, I believe there's more to it than that. Maybe, I just don't understand it.
I mean, when they did Katy Perry a couple years ago, she was the woman in red riding on the tiger, or was it like a lion, an inflamed lion?
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
They do red quite a bit. Usually a lot of fucking O's and X's as well. Didn't see too many of those this time.
Yeah, I think the fun house, the maze, the mirror maze that he was in, I think that has a lot of allegorical significance as well. But I didn't go too deep into it. I just wanted to look into what his story was with the fucking diaper faces, because I didn't understand it when I saw it originally. So I took a little dive to figure it out. Andrew Beaverson says I watched the one of them. It was like all recap. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say, Andrew, is that if you've been paying attention throughout all the state, the public state hearings, then none of it was new. I mean, of course, they refined it more. They had pictures and diagrams and showing exactly how many countries received the info that they didn't have, a month ago. But basically it was all just a recap of everything we already know. Honey Badger says every performer who I know who's wore gloves and shiny jackets usually ends up dead before their time.
How old is The Weeknd? Is he past the 27 club? The ripe old age?
I believe so. I think he's older than that. Let me see. I'll Google it real quick.
Yeah, the shiny jackets definitely don't work out too well for most folks. But Bowie made it. James Brown made it.
Good God. The Weeknd doesn't have a wiki?
Is there a Weekendpedia?
I think he's older than 27, though. 30. He was born in 1990. February 16th, 1990, he was born.
His birthday's coming up. Well, hopefully he doesn't have a bathtub incident before then.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was wild. So the Mike Lindell, I guess he's feeling left out from being sued by Dominion. So he's doing everything he can to get his name on that paperwork. Interesting play.
I was sort of like wondering if, I think way back when we were talking to our, on this podcast about why hasn't Dominion, brought these charges out way sooner. And we've gone over, various fucking avenues as to why, various reasons. But I mean, this possibly could be the best chance of any actual evidence coming out.
Oh yeah, I mean, with the lawsuit, it triggers evidentiary findings. So whatever evidence they have, now it can be admitted to the court, and it has to be taken into account now. They can't, it can't be just thrown away or,
just how much is left
anymore.
How much has survived the scrub?
Yeah.
Because it was election month was months ago now.
Right. Exactly. Bowie and Brown, Jeff Buckley, Elvis, Prince. Prince was horrible. They definitely killed Prince. MJ too.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, killed him. Andrew Beaver.
Well, I don't.
Dominion lawsuits will backfire on them.
I'm not saying that they're gonna backfire on them, but I think a lot of the stuff that at the very least is being dismissed and not looked at is gonna. It's like there's election fraud in every single election. All of a sudden, it disappeared this year.
Yeah, people failed to take into account that there were only 2 lawsuits where they actually looked at the evidence, and one is going to be in the Supreme Court on the 19th.
So, I mean, I think everything that we know that happened is just going to be confirmed, but it's going to end up being a so what.
Right, exactly. It's a nothing burger. It's, what are you going to do about it now? It's over. I think it is going to backfire because for those same reasons, things are going to be allowed to be entered into evidence in court, in an open court. And people forget that there were plenty of legislators that disagreed with Dominion software being used, period, on both sides of the aisle shortly before this last election.
Yeah, we talked about it immediately. We talked about how Texas said no thank you to Dominion for
Right.
all
Exactly.
of these reasons.
And
We
those things are now going to be admissible in court as well.
Yeah,
The
the
government studies that they did on these actual machines.
or the report where the Wired magazine report where they had the hacker convention and they
Mhm.
brought in one of the Dominion voting machines to see how quickly these guys could take the system apart and hack into it.
Was it two?
And yeah, major flaws in the system, double digit major flaws. And that was just a couple kids in a convention, in a couple minutes. Imagine if you actually wanted to do something.
And I also think that they're going to make the connections between Smartmatic and Dominion that they keep lying about, saying that they're completely different.
Yeah, I noticed Smartmatic is putting their hat in the lawsuit game.
Yep.
We'll
Yep.
see.
They're going to have to prove that they're not sharing software. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to have to prove in court if they want it to fly. And everybody knows that they share software. So, yeah, Sharon, exactly. Klobuchar and Warren wrote letters against the machines and Dominion. Exactly. And those are, obviously Klobuchar and Warren are the other side of the aisle. So when that stuff comes up during the court case, it's not going to be a one-sided fight. You know what I mean? They're going to use their own words against them.
But the big story that week will be, Trump's third impeachment, or Trump's intelligence briefings.
Right, Trump's criminal trial that should be starting shortly after. I know one thing we didn't talk about yet, but I kind of wanted to talk about was Lou Dobbs being canceled, like out of nowhere a couple of days ago. I think day before yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly Lou Dobbs was on vacation and didn't even know.
That's nice.
And Lou Dobbs was one of Trump's most outspoken, ardent supporters on TV. So, understandable.
Yeah, but what's the play there? Why you'd think a Trump guy being on TV in the Biden administration should equal ratings. That's the CNN formula. So what are they going to find an even more anti-Biden guy? Or are they going to replace it with a fucking Biden guy? Like, where the fuck do you go from there?
It's the Borg. You will be assimilated. And if not, you will be terminated. That's how it works. Uniparty or bust now, baby. No dissenting voices at all. Not on prime time. Not mainstream.
Your yellow star will be on your phone.
Yep. And then Ayanna Pressley was talking about the impeachment coming up and how the riot at the Capitol should tell everybody that white supremacy is still a problem. And they had Confederate flags and they wanted to kill people.
Well, shit, how about Black Lives Matter marching through the streets of DC chanting, "If we don't get it, burn it down."
Right? Was that also an insurrection or?
That was their acceptance speech for the Nobel Peace Prize, their Nobel Mostly Peaceful Prize.
The Mostly Peaceful Nobel Prize.
Yeah. If we don't get this prize, we're going to burn this shit down.
Right? Nobel who?
The Nobel Peace Prize is currently being held hostage by the mostly peaceful groups, BLM and Antifa.
Oh, wow, man. How idiotic is that?
I mean, I haven't given any credit to that prize since Mr. Drone Strike, lightning from above, Hussein Obama, eradicating hospitals, funerals, weddings, exactly.
Right. What was it, a coffee shop where he killed that 16-year-old American?
Mm-hmm. Schools.
Drone strikes.
Yep.
And
3. Like Obama was fucking draining fucking threes long before Steph Curry. I think Obama's just sitting in his office, paper balls in the trash basket.
right from downtown.
Kill streak, another 37.
Yeah, and that actually, that, you know, truth be told, that was one of the problems I had with Trump at the beginning too, is that he just continued the drone strikes until he started firing people and asking
Well, you
why
see,
they're killing people. Drones.
each one of those drone strikes is an investment.
Investment in future terror.
And exactly. Future endeavors for the machine. Paybacks.
What a smooth segue to ISIS coming back, huh? ISIS wasn't a problem for 4.5 years, but on Inauguration Day, they sure the fuck blew up Baghdad. Who knew, you know? And I still want to go back to that police officer at the Capitol. The information came out that he was not murdered, which is going to make impeaching Trump even more difficult. Seeing as the only person that actually got murdered was a Trump supporter.
Impeachment and everybody's trials. I mean, unless there's secret fucking, super secret hearings and these people are just removed from fucking public sight.
Yeah. Military tribunals everybody's been talking about for a couple years.
Also, I did not know that there were vegan jails. When did we get vegan jails?
That's a good question.
The fuck is really going on here?
Those bug protein black bricks from Snowpiercer. That's what they should have fed that man.
Like, you should be eating bread. Here's your 2 slices of white bread. Let us know if you want a piece of cheese, motherfucker.
Right. Here's a packet of peanut butter and a packet of jelly.
Oh, they can't eat peanut butter because I don't know if I don't want to put anybody off peanut butter because I still eat it knowing this facts. But a lot of bugs are in peanut butter, so vegans don't eat it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of bug content in most peanut butters.
I love peanut butter and I don't care.
Same, exactly. Nothing's putting me off it, I don't think. We ain't going back.
Took a while to get here. We ain't stopping now. So yeah, through the weekend, those are the big stories that I remember off the top of my head was Super Bowl, Lou Dobbs.
Put up the page. See what we got.
Right on. Here we go. For anybody that might be new or that might be watching this for the first time, not live, what we usually do is we go through the Gab posts that we made in between podcasts and just talk about the news that we found important throughout the week at first, when we first start the podcast usually, and then we just bullshit about it afterwards, about whatever comes up.
Like to take out some things that are either suppressed, funny, interesting, or just shit that we think everybody should know. And we want to do our part by, getting it out there
even
to whoever will fucking can hear it.
A lot of things hit the news, but they don't get pushed, so people don't realize it. Like that police officer not being murdered. People still base their entire idea of what happened on the 6th on that false fact.
Yep. And Ashley Babbitt deserved it because of that, even though she was dead long before this fucking guy.
Exactly. Long before.
We had a Lincoln Project co-founder resignation.
Yeah, the woman, one of the co-founders, apparently she said, somebody in Project Lincoln said that she was making a lot of outrageous demands before she resigned as well. So she might have been making a power play to take it over, and when they said no, she was like, all right, well, have fun in your boat.
How is this organization even allowed to still fucking function? You know, how is not everybody under investigation? Oh wait, that's right. We're talking about the fucking FBI again.
Right. Andrew Beaverson says, so if he didn't get murdered, what happened to the cop? The story the story was that he got his head bashed in with a fire extinguisher. And it turns out that after his shift was over, he collapsed at the headquarters of the Capitol Police that he
So
worked for.
he got up. He wasn't ambulanced anywhere. He got up, finished his shift, went back to headquarters, and then collapsed.
The most recent medical explanation is that he had a reaction with the tear gas or the pepper spray that was being used. But the original reporting from day one was that he had a stroke. So it's either he had a stroke or he had a medical condition that caused him to die afterwards.
Absolutely nothing to do with trauma, blunt force trauma.
The doctors that did his autopsy said that he had absolutely zero signs of blunt force trauma. So he was not murdered. And if he had an adverse reaction to a chemical agent, then an investigation needs to be done to see if it was a chemical agent that he was using. But I still revert back to the original reporting was that he had a stroke. And if he had a stroke, then there's no way to stop a stroke. You know what I mean? It just happened. But that doesn't change the fact that he was not murdered. He did not die because of head trauma. He died for medical complications, one way or another. At the headquarters, after the shift was over, after the riot was done, after he was done performing his duties at the headquarters after his shift. And I mean, I can't stress it enough how important just that information is, because like I said, people have been building their entire outlook on what happened on the 6th based on that false narrative. Which is why you got to show up for the Chords v Plugs podcast, because we've been putting this shit out there since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, our January 6th stream did get the YouTube kibosh, but ever since we've been putting out the information that needs to be put out.
Yeah, we've definitely mentioned this officer's death and the fact that he was not murdered numerous times. Definitely go check. It pays to get caught up on the past few episodes, as well as there's a few good chuckles in there, a few sensible, maybe not so sensible chuckles in there.
Right. Yeah, one thing about us is that we don't waste good humor on feelings. You know, almost everything that's funny hurts somebody's feelings somewhere.
Yep. It's either going to take us real far or nowhere real quick. We're going to find out. Come along with the ride for us. Hop on. See where this shit goes. But back to the Lincoln Project, man. Do you think that you think we're going to see anything else come out of this, and there's going to be any more developments as far as groomers, shit like that, or
I think more is going to come out. Yeah, I don't think any more is going to come out as far as groomers. I think that they're going to blame it all on the Weaver guy, but I think that it's going to come out that people have known about it for 20 years and just still dealt with him regardless.
Yeah,
which shows exactly what kind of people the Lincoln Project have always been.
Mm-hmm. So you think there is going to continue to be a Lincoln Project? You think that they're going to allow to still function and do business?
I almost
operate.
They have to implode and rebrand. You know what I mean? They can't keep it the way it is because they're exposed already. So they're gonna have to fade into obscurity and then come back as something else.
They need to just completely flip and become a benefit for victims of pieces of shit like them.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, is that they did completely flip, and that's where they ended up. You know what I mean? They were Republicans working on policy for Reagan, Bush. You know, they worked for the Republican establishment for 30, 40 years. And then when Trump got here, they were like, oh no, can't support him. He's going to expose my grooming ways. I mean, what more of a reason do you need to be anti-Trump? Is if you're a kitty diddler.
Hey, diddle diddle.
Andrew Beaverson said they said 5 people originally died. Now it's only 1. Ashley. No,
one officer committed suicide.
Yeah, there were more people that died. There was.
And I was suspecting that if that's the man that shot Ashley Babbitt.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. We don't know yet who that person is. All we know is that he's unlikely to face charges, which would make sense if he's dead.
Yeah.
Yep. So there were people that died. I believe there were 5 people that died, including Ashley and including the police officer.
Yeah, a couple of the rioters, protesters, whatever you want to call them, had strokes and had heart attacks of their own.
Well, the story was that the one cop, the Sitnik, the guy that we already talked about, he died at the headquarters afterwards. The other police officer committed suicide the next day. Ashley obviously got shot and died. One person was trampled during the storming, the actual storming, which is kind of ironic because there were a lot of Trump supporters holding "Don't Tread on Me" flags. And then one of them
Hi-oh.
Hi-oh. And then one more had a heart attack. So that was the 5. 3 of them were actual protesters. 2 of them were police officers that either killed themselves or had a medical condition.
It's a good thing the left can't meme, otherwise that poor soul would be all over the internet.
Right? And that just goes to show you that they definitely cannot. They definitely can't because it's so easy. All you have to do is look. It's like, look at this contradiction. Maybe we're just so tuned into contradictions after the last fucking 10 years, modern politics. Or 12 years, I should say.
So shortly after
this is golden.
Shortly after the Lincoln Project co-founder steps down, we have more pedophile news out of DC. That a DC senior staffer, I'm sure we're gonna butcher that, Vesalugi, or actually I'm Vestigi. I was looking at it on the smaller screen, but hours before his arrest for distribution of child porn, cheered for the removal of Marjorie Taylor Greene from her committees.
So once again,
these are the people. They're definitely, they want to point the finger that there's racists hiding in your midst if you're on that side. Yeah, well, the fucking sexual predators are in your midst. Ain't nobody perfect.
And this just it goes to show exactly what we've been saying all along, is that there is no left versus right. It's not Dem versus Republican. It's not even, red versus blue.
It's good people versus pieces of shit, as it's always been.
Exactly. And this is very telling that his last tweet, he's a Republican. This guy is a Republican senior staffer, and his last tweet was against Marjorie Taylor Greene. And then he was arrested for distributing child porn. So, of the same ilk of the Lincoln Project. He actually belongs in the Lincoln Project, I'd say.
Do you know your politicians and their buddies' hobbies? Because it ain't all backgammon.
Exactly.
And prayer.
And you see how the Republican establishment, the ones that are fighting against the Cheeto dictator, you see why? Andrew Beaverson said they're including a cop that committed suicide in the death count. Yeah, the next day even, not even the same day. Actually, was it the next day? I think it was 2 days later.
I think I don't know, a
Either
day or
way,
two.
the very next day on the 7th or the 8th, he committed suicide, and he is counted in the death count. So yeah, Mr. Verestwigi is he's gonna have himself a good time in the near future.
Hopefully he doesn't go to the fucking golf resort fucking country club Rod Blagojevich prison.
Right? If he's
We'll
in
see how many favors. We'll see who he was giving that child porn to.
if he's not a legal citizen, he'll be released to the interior. Because that's what they said today, was that illegal detainees will not be deported for rape or murder charges. You know, just the worst possible crimes in American law.
Yeah, if you can't get deported for rape and murder, what does get you deported?
Being a
Man,
Republican.
so it was a thick weekend for fucking pedophile news. This is an interesting story that was circulating around the internet, and the interesting part is that Chelsea Handler was the guest to Katie Couric at this fucking island. It's a very interesting read, but it's major journalists there, and
Do you see the connection between those who speak the loudest in the last 4 years?
so telling that the way that Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to operate and how nonchalant he was, just like that Weaver guy. It's obvious you can't hide sick shit like that. If people are around, and it was one of the things that I thought immediately with Bill Cosby that sort of made me question what was going on. I was like, how did this take so long to get out? There's no way that people weren't talking behind the scenes about this shit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Positive.
Like, women had to know that this shit was happening, and it's the same shit here. Like, a fucking journalist, a fucking prized in the spotlight journalist was there.
And Chelsea
How
Handler.
you
I mean,
don't no.
Chelsea Handler is a superstar in her own right, especially, back then, 4 or 5
Well,
years ago.
yeah, for sure. But people talk. Regular people talk and fucking gossip and talk shit about each other. I can only imagine what these snobby motherfuckers do. There's no way that there's not fucking people whispering around like, uh, there's a dungeon downstairs. Have you heard about his island? Have you been to the island? You know,
Yeah, you could have anything you want there.
But the Katie Couric shit blows my fucking mind because, again, I was reading about Pedo Island, 2010. People were talking about this story in 2005. People were going to fucking, journalists at dinner parties or in and around his circle, all these motherfuckers,
Yeah, not
and
just
not
that, but
not a
like
peep.
world-renowned scientists. You know what I mean? He had nonprofit organizations for saving the ocean mammals. You know what I mean? He was hobnobbing in some of the most, well-off circles and
Yeah.
prestigious circles on the planet.
Seems like he was creating a network, or he had a network,
He
one or
definitely
the other.
was proven. He pled guilty to having sex with an underage prostitute, basically, and then
And
continued to network afterwards. It's like, you know,
and no charges, nothing, no leads after all these fucking years. Still, after them seizing the fucking island, going through his records, there's nothing. There's
well, a lot of people are
nothing.
saying that the other guy, the what was his name? The designer that was arrested recently was connected to Epstein. Man, I can't remember the guy's name now. Here, let me Google it real quick. Go ahead, Red.
But Like, where there should be so many more developments out of this with the amount of fucking people that were rubbing shoulders and the amount of questions that that have not been answered. Where's the FBI, man? FBI, where the fuck are you? Listening to us, most likely. Worried about imaginary fucking domestic threats. All the while, just, creating fucking distrust and uneasement.
His name was Peter Nygaard from the Nygaard Modeling Agency. Apparently, he was connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and this Peter Nygaard used a lot of the same tactics to get and to control the women in his life, and he created supermodels. And with Victoria's Secret's sketchy past with Jeffrey Epstein, a lot of those Victoria's Secret models are now sus.
And back, I just remembered as well too. Another connection with that Katie Couric that she has is she was also a very big friend of Harvey Weinstein. They have a huge public history together of being out, being out and about, socializing, big smiles. This is a journalist.
Yep.
So this is a journalist.
Yeah. Anybody out there, if you're not aware or not familiar with Peter Nygaard, go ahead and look him up. Nygard is his last name, and he's been arrested recently within the last couple of months, and supposedly it's in direct connection to Epstein. Just tells you the FBI top officials are involved with Epstein. I think a lot more than the FBI. I don't even think it is the FBI. I think it's the actual CIA. I think Epstein was probably on the payroll. I mean, how else do you get these blackmail files that you use to control everybody in the public sphere,
Yeah, either whoever Epstein was working for has some files on.
Yeah, supposedly there's video. There's, Ghislaine Maxwell in her testimony when she's been, what's the word? Where they give their statement to the lawyers. Deposed, whenever she's given her deposition, she said that she took pictures constantly of women topless, and she doesn't know how old they were. She never asked. She never thought to ask. Apparently, there's pictures and video all over the place. But when they did raid Epstein Island or Epstein's New York penthouse, when they raided that place, all the computers, the actual PCs were all missing. The servers were all missing. They showed the pictures, and you see all the wires that connected a computer, but the computer is missing like the dust ring around it. You could see exactly where it was. You know what I mean?
There's an interesting story that just came out. Some of his servants were talking about what it was like working there, and I guess he wouldn't communicate with the people there. He would send a message to his headquarters in New York, and then they would use like a sort of like a WhatsApp, but it was a different fucking type of app. I don't remember what it was called. And then they would send the message back to his house to the servant to bring him an orange juice.
The systems of control, man. People like that, you know what I mean? He was making sure that he was controlling his people in New York and in his house at the same time.
I know exactly what you're doing. You're getting me fucking orange juice.
Exactly. And I'm watching you on camera right now.
This shit.
Yeah.
This shit right here, man, wrecked me this weekend.
How you like them apples?
Protest Amsterdam, protesting against health restrictions, thusly getting the shit kicked out of them for their health. on fucking horseback. Like,
Yeah.
man, this shit is animal abuse. I feel the same way about fucking dogs on the fucking job that get sicked on people, man. Traumatizing fucking animals.
Yeah, not
It's
just that, but how you like that European style socialism now?
Yeah, for sure.
Because this is it.
I
There's
mean,
a front row seat at it.
if they knock this dude down, that horse could easily step on that dude's fucking head and kill him. Like, the horse is a fucking weapon. But if you harm the horse as well, though, you know what I'm saying? If you defend yourself against the horse, you're getting a life sentence. It's outrageous.
Assaulting an officer of the law still.
It's outrageous. You know, the animal should not be in there. It's not their fucking fight. They've got nothing to do with this shit. I'm looking at you too, Russia, with the weaponized fucking sharks and dolphins and whales. Look that shit up if you think I'm fucking being
yeah, no joke.
If you want to put me on, I don't even want to say it. If you want to give me the letter notice on the bottom of this video, the letter that shall not be named.
Did we get one last time?
Oh yeah.
Both times?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. All right, so
that letter just doesn't exist right now. We're
Yeah.
gonna test that out. This episode, that letter does not exist.
Yep, it's now known as the letter, equivalent
letter.
with the idea.
Yep, exactly. But look at this fucking dude, man. Crazy. It's just out for a jog. Like, it's fucking crazy. Does this old man look like he was really protesting, man?
Yeah, he was the guy they had to stop, apparently.
It's like he looked like he just turned down the wrong fucking street. He's out for his run. Hey, what's going on over here? Next thing you know, he's getting beaten over the fucking head.
He made a left into the park and was like, oh shit.
Oi! You ain't got your running papers, mate.
You mean this isn't the red light district? The Scarlet Letter. Yeah, the red 17. Anybody out there? If you know, you know. 17 is the letter.
Oh.
Has there been any word from Ice Cube on the initiative for Black Americans since Biden's won?
Haha. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's been silent. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump promised $100 billion cash infusion into the black community before he was bunny ears beaten in the election.
Mr. Elon's definitely seems to be making a play on the Doge. Oh fuck! I did lose it. Oh, there it is. All right.
Oh, you're good.
This
says
he was on TMZ. They caught him on TMZ. Yeah, he got caught on TMZ where this picture is from over the weekend, and it's fucking hysterical. He's a fucking blessing.
I like Elon. I know he has the capability to do a lot of harm to this fucking country and the humanity, but as of yet, it doesn't seem like he's taking that road. I'll reserve future judgment, but
yeah, if not, he's the best plant they've ever fucking come up with.
Yeah, between him, Lex Friedman, and Mark Zuckerberg, there's definitely robots among us.
At least he's trying to be honest. He's like, hey, I'm a fucking robot. I'm trying to help you be robots too.
All right. If you guys become robots,
we'll see if Elon's, Doge hype is just because he had a couple $2 billion worth from back in the day and he just wanted to cash out on the penny gains, or if he's serious about the cryptocurrency of the people and he's going to try to boost this thing up and try to create some more wealth and prosperity for the everyday man. Might be worth throwing $50 at, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, for sure, just to be a part of it. But yeah, I love the story of Dogecoin, Doggy Coin. I love it. It started off as a meme. It was one of those notorious 4chan hacker memes.
It was everywhere. I mean, was everywhere back when the internet was back in the days of cat pictures and fucking Fucking
Basically,
digital
that was it.
cartoons.
There's when the
Yeah.
internet was strictly for Asian porn and cat memes.
Yep. Fucking Yuma.
Now it's legitimately turning into a legitimate cryptocurrency. You know, it started as a meme, and people actually bought in because it's fucking hilarious. And enough people bought in to where it actually became a relevant cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
Which
people
is
are trying
funny. It's
to
huge.
trying to pump it as the new break the bank movement. You want us to start our own bank? Fuck it.
Right? Create your own Federal Reserve.
Done.
Right? And much like Greta Thunberg in India, why don't you just create your own India?
And go out on I want to go out on record and definitely pump the movement. If Doge ends up hitting, I'm buying a Tesla, and everybody should buy a Tesla and pay this man back.
Yeah, but we'll take this opportunity to say that we are not financial planners.
Oh yeah, no,
we do not.
Absolutely not. Just idiots. Just
take our advice on any financial, any investments. We are not investment planners. We're just giving you our opinions.
Just the other hard R's.
Yep. The other ones.
But yeah, that's the word on that's the word on the internet is everybody's saying on the Twitter sphere that if this hits, everybody's buying Teslas. So I mean, it's a great investment on Elon's behalf. He's going to create lifetime fucking customers, and have a whole bunch of new investors that that he's created that'll be fucking thankful and willing to invest in him to see what he's going to do next.
Right, and just think if it actually goes that way. And if people invest in Doge and then all buy Teslas and it all goes Tesla, if it all comes up house for Tesla, then just maybe Bezos will not be around.
It's like it's the GameWorks economy. you print money, hand it out, they come back and spend the money, and it's just around and around it goes.
Andrew Beaverson says, "How many Dogecoin should I not buy?" LOL. Well, the beauty of Dogecoin is that it's like fucking, what is it, 8 cents?
Yeah, it's like 8 cents right now.
As much as your heart desires, Andrew, just go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like it's an investment like anything, and it's just like, gambling. Don't risk anything that you can't afford to lose.
Just like everything else, don't put more in than you're willing to lose. And if you go by that philosophy, then you don't lose anything, because then you're at least a part of a movement.
Yeah. But for 8 cents, I mean, you can't go wrong. There's plenty of worse things that you could throw some money at,
Yeah, I've thrown money at a lot worse things.
Like that leak you just got installed. Ayo. Sorry.
You're right. Gotta love it.
So did anybody see this picture of Biden supposedly at church Super Bowl Sunday morning? Because I saw this picture circulating around on Twitter, and there's a couple funny things about this. For one, this is an old ass photo from, what is it, a couple of years ago? Let me bring these pictures up. So, yeah, November 15th.
Yeah, 2020. No masks.
Of course.
Does he have a mask? I can't really see.
Does not look like he has a mask on. Good eye there. Good eye. Oh, nope, he's masked. He is masked. But here we are, 18 hours ago, Super Bowl Sunday. But there's actually a bigger photo of this. And if you look at this screen, this rope hanging right here, it appears to be a noose.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace would definitely say that's a noose.
So I just want to know, what the fuck does Joe Biden not know what the fuck a noose is? Was in a carefully placed noose? Is there supposed to be some symbolism here? What the fuck is a
Jeff
noose not a noose
Pratt would
anymore?
definitely say that's a noose. I guess it context matters.
Right.
That's all I could say about that. But yeah, it's nice that they're just recycling pictures from last year saying that it's today.
Right?
That's always good news for the leader of the free world.
Yeah, no fact. Yeah, no fact checks or nothing like that. That'll happen if you just say the words, fraud or dominion. It's like saying bomb on the airplane now.
Yeah. Right.
But that's a great point that you bring up. Is like he could be dead and they could easily just fucking not even deep fake him, just fucking rehash old photos of this old bastard sitting in church for fucking 8 months.
Right. It's Sunday. Guess where Joe Biden was? In the same picture. Yeah.
After this, he went to the buffet.
Yeah.
He had an Arnold Palmer, but
And
he
then-
wasn't golfing because golf is for the white devil.
Yeah, no golf for this president because he's asleep at 5:30 p.m. He doesn't have the energy to run even the front nine. Yeah, Joe Biden getting the whole 18 in, it'd take him 3 fucking weeks,
He'd just be sniffing the caddies.
right? I need female caddies and I need them to have long hair that was recently washed. And I prefer they use herbal essences.
I saw this one picture over the weekend where he was sniffing this girl's cheek, and I swear it looked like he had this girl's face in his mouth. Have you seen any of those? Like he's sucking on their fucking face.
Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo.
Oh, how has he
And-
not been assaulted numerous times for this?
He was assaulted by a secret service officer because he inappropriately approached his wife. Literally
This is what
assaulted.
him walking around the house naked incidents. One of those.
One of them, yeah. Yeah, apparently the Secret Service officer, there should be paperwork on it because there was an incident report and the guy was taken off of Biden's duty. So it should be documented. I'm sure somebody could
Those of you don't know out there is Joe Biden has a notorious history of incidences with his Secret Service protection guys because Joe Biden likes to walk around fucking naked. And if you're not careful, he will expose himself to you.
He walks
repeatedly.
around naked only when his family is out of town.
And I don't know how many people out there have looked into the Hunter Biden laptop story and seen what was on the laptop and the appearing manner that his son Hunter conducts himself in. There's a lot of other allegations there, but I said from the jump that people like that aren't born, they aren't created, they're groomed, they're made, and the more and more stuff comes out, it's true that the apple doesn't roll far from the tree, unless that tree's up high up on a hill.
Right.
It seems just like seems father like son here.
Right. That's one of Joe Biden's "that's my boy" moments instead of disgusted.
Yeah, if you want to know why Hunter has all these fucking crude fucking selfies, because this is what Daddy does for fun. This is what we do on Sunday evenings when everybody's out at church, when Daddy didn't feel good.
Yeah. How many times was Hunter still in the house when babysitter Dr. Biden was out of town? Maybe it was just Hunter and Joe skinny dipping in front of Secret Service back then. Here's another question. Does Joe Biden have any female Secret Service agents on his detail now? And if not, why not? Wouldn't that be one of those major equity?
I think it would be
issues?
very woke of him to have equal parts LGBTQ. You got to have one of each, two of each, whatever it may be.
You'd think.
Because they did just bring, the trans can serve. So.
Yeah. So you'd think that on his Secret Service detail, there would be women, there'd be transsexuals, there'd be people from the LGBTQ community.
And a handicap.
At least one letter in that community, I'd imagine.
Maybe the new sign language interpreter is a Secret Service agent. Undercover.
Yeah, there's one thing that really grinds my gears about these sign language interpreters on TV lately. It's like, who hired the snotty sign language interpreter? The one, the one that's making facial expressions the whole time. That's just like, I don't know.
I've always wondered, like, for people that actually need sign, interpreters, are there better ones? Like, do they have their own following? Like how you have like a performer that you like to see? Is there like you get to a show and it's like, fuck, not this bitch, or it's like they basically are there sign language interpreters that they just go to see because they're doing the fucking show?
Yeah,
I always wondered this, or is it just
to see Jim perform the Black Keys?
Exactly right.
Only if Jim's there though.
We got to see if we got any plugs in the sign language game.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put our feelers out and see what the word is in the sign language community. Sharon says, for roping off pews for social distancing. No, I think that was pre social distancing. I believe those were ropes to keep people away from the presidential nominee.
The ropes may or may not be old, but it's the fact that that's a fucking noose. It's an absolute noose. And you think a man is aware and as woke as he fucking pretends to be would fucking notice.
Right. Any person of color would quickly realize that knot was tied in a noose-like fashion. All right, that pretty smooth segue.
Mm-hmm.
For Biden, Beautiful Things book that he just got paid $2.5 million for.
Beautiful Things.
Yeah, Beautiful Things by Hunter Biden. Who do you think really wrote the book for him?
Obama speechwriters.
Yeah, you think Obama holdovers?
Yeah.
Does anybody remember during the campaign, Biden saying that no member of his family was going to reap the rewards of his presidency?
That turned out to be his brother's profiting still. Hunter still hasn't given up his holdings in the Chinese firm.
Yeah, the firm that's owned 75% by the Chinese Communist Party. That one.
But he's looking for somebody to sell.
Right, but if he's
somebody close enough to, the money won't go missing.
But what if that's Daddy Joe's 10% that he was holding for the big guy?
Yeah, it's definitely the big guy's 10%.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Hunter doesn't have any percent of anything. He probably doesn't even get the credit card. His name. I love that picture though.
Hopefully he didn't get any of this $2 million.
I hope they use that little picture, the picture that they're using for that story, the little one in the middle. I hope that they use that for his author picture on the back of the book, with him passed out under the comforter with a crack pipe in his mouth.
Inside the sleeve.
Yeah.
About me.
Right. The about author section.
That's awesome.
You might.
The internet's gonna make their own fucking Hunter Biden little photo book now.
Oh, for sure.
Gonna...
For sure. The internet always wins. The internet is undefeated. You know what I mean?
The coffee table book smells like fucking crack and cigarette butts.
Right. The book's going to go something like this. You might think that this book was about my sordid past with drug use, but this picture was taken 2.5 months ago.
So since we're witnessing the beginning of Hunter Biden's Robert Downey Jr. fucking recovery and reemergence, what's going to be Hunter Biden's movie? Is he going to be a superhero? Is he going to be a DC villain? Would probably be more fitting. But what superhero is Hunter Biden going to be to bring him into the Disney audience? And
I think we could all agree that,
or is he just going to be Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah. I think we could all agree that he will definitely be in DC. I think that's where he belongs. The darker, more scruffy DC supervillain-esque Gotham.
Yeah, but it's got to be Disney. He's got to be, and Disney's got Marvel. They got it. That's how they get him back into the spotlight.
Yeah.
It's how, another way for them to embezzle another couple fucking, million.
Yeah, it's he's the male version of Alice in Wonderland. Bloody Wonderland. He's definitely making his Robert Downey Jr. reemergence, emerging from the cocoon as a new man.
Yep. He's a fresh chore boy. Ready to get a fresh chore boy and a fresh stem.
He's like, Dad, you'd never believe it, but they have crack everywhere now. Everywhere.
Yeah, your people are legalizing it in Portland. Dad, can you name me King of Portland?
Yeah, it's crazy. In fucking Portland, you could shit on the street while doing heroin and not be considered a criminal.
Yeah, I thought they were going in the right place. They were the shrooms I could get behind, and then they just went other hard R with it.
Yeah, they went full R.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like they're just sitting there waiting for an act of God now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fucking go out to the park. You got your sunbathers, you got your section with your kids, and then you got your fucking heroin den section of the park where everybody's just fucking nodded the fuck out, just zombies.
They're masturbating in broad daylight.
Itching, twitching.
That's what they said in New York City. They gave the homeless rooms in the hotels, and the homeless people didn't want to be in their rooms. So they were just out on the street around the hotel, still doing drugs, still masturbating in public.
Yeah.
Fixing problems all across this great land.
Yeah. So they've been knocking problems out for a long time, haven't they?
Yep.
Liberty, prosperity.
The
American dream.
I find
Huge
it so
problem.
ironic that in this day and age where, the division is more succinct than it's ever been in my lifetime between the two halves of the country, that we elect the guy who authored the 94 crime bill, and every crime bill for the last 50 years had his name on it. It says him.
Joe Biden, actually.
actually. Like how? Like, do you think these leftists? Do you think these Biden supporters? Because we came to the conclusion last episode that even if you voted against Trump, that made you a Biden supporter. If you voted for him, that means you are a Biden supporter. So, do you think?
And you are not absolved of responsibility of
You
your
are
vote.
absolutely not absolved of responsibility. Absolutely not. Counter to the popular narrative.
You are responsible for your vote. You should be, at least.
And we saw buyer's remorse right away. I mean, it's still only been 12 business days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Biden's been hiding since those last few executive orders. He must have developed carpal tunnel.
Well,
Now
today he did a virtual walkthrough of vaccination, a FEMA vaccination center, I believe in Texas, and he proceeded to just tell the nurse that she looked like a freshman in college, and that
wow. Are we allowed to do that? I thought we weren't allowed to. I thought we weren't allowed to do that shit anymore.
I can't stop, won't stop kind of thing. I think, you know what I mean? You know, he's the president of the goddamn fucking free world now. He could be as creepy as he wants to be whenever he feels like it. Yeah.
So basically, we got Bill Clinton back as president, just fucking 40 years older.
Yep. Probably worse too, because this man has been in politics for the last 50 years. You know what I mean? Bill Clinton was fucking living in a tree in college. He didn't get into politics until he got with fucking Hillary, for the most part.
Met the wrong one.
Yeah.
Could have not went to that. Not climb that tree that day. And next thing you know, he's in Dazed and Confused, taking Matthew McConaughey's line.
For real.
Bill Clinton could have coined all right.
Yeah. What a spin he's had on this fucking marble, huh?
Shit, you're telling me.
Man.
From secret airports in fucking New Mexico and fucking Nevada to body counts and
running cocaine to Alabama. Let's not forget about the cocaine ring and the connections to not El Chapo, the other one. The Medellin.
The Medellin cartel, yeah. But the cars blowing up and reminds me of something that I wanted to talk about. Was a couple of the Super Bowl commercials actually. Now, one was that Amy Schumer is the face of fucking mayonnaise. How fucking fitting is that?
Perfect casting. That's the one thing that I could say about Amy Schumer, period, is that she should definitely, if not her, it should be Mike Pence.
Mike Pence got to be Cool Whip, man, because he looks like he shakes his head to the side like he's got some zing and shit when he's happy.
He's definitely the embodiment of mayonnaise. But yeah, I can go Cool Whip too.
The other, not Cool Whip, Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip, yeah.
But the other commercial was Will Ferrell did a commercial basically saying how Holland or Norway has way more electric cars on the road than us. And they're kicking our ass, and we need to new competition, and we need to all buy electric cars so that, you know, the government could just turn the power off and you can't go anywhere. Or somebody can just hack your fucking car and cut your brakes off or turn your motor off while you're fucking driving. Like I'm all for getting an electric car, but I would highly advise keeping something with a fucking gas engine on hand and tuned up and operating.
Yeah.
Don't abandon old fossil fuels completely just yet. It's you might need it in a pinch.
Yep. A carbureted, very
Yep.
low computer, very little computer regulation, carbureted motors. That'll still work. You
Build
could
your
push start
go-karts
that
now.
shit. You know what I
Build
mean?
your go-karts now while we can still get engines.
Exactly.
We're gonna have to raid Mar-a-Lago for golf carts.
I'm surprised the spree movement hasn't really hit here. I think it was because we had low gas prices for the last 4 years.
Oh,
They,
gas jumped. What was it? 47 cents over the weekend.
yeah, of course. Every winter it goes up, but this is a little much. In the middle of winter it goes up, and in the middle of summer it goes up every year, no matter what. But I mean, the last 4 years we've been pretty lucky, and it's been going down consistently.
Not no
But
mo.
thing about banning fracking and banning new permits for any fossil fuels on government land is prices go up immediately.
Man, they're gonna keep climbing too.
Oh yeah, they ain't going nowhere.
It's
Especially
definitely gonna push 5 for sure. This administration.
speaking of fossil fuels, did you hear that the Keystone pipeline might be suing the U.S. government for breach of contract?
That's interesting.
Very interesting, and I'm sure it could become a class action, seeing as the Ute Indians had their own contract with the government. Biden doing illegal things in his first 2.5 weeks, eh? You don't say. There's a bigger point I want to talk about later when we get out of the news segment here.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's gonna come out of it, man. The story seems to be no justice.
No, justice is an idea that's fading fast. It used to be, one of the founding ideals, the justice, that blind lady, that Statue of Liberty, the lady holding the scales with a blindfold. Like it was what the law in our country was based on. But
Is that Colombia, or is that a different deity?
Colombia, well, it's lady.
Is that who they have blindfolded for justice?
I'm not sure. Maybe. I thought Liberty, like the actual, her name was Liberty.
The goddess of DC is Colombia.
But that's what it stands for, is justice is blind.
Mm-hmm.
The scale of truth and lies, of evidence.
That's just racist white people fucking babble now.
Yeah, weights and measures.
Science gave up facts, and
That brings me back to what I think Honey Badger said in our last podcast, that toilet paper is worth more than the Constitution to these people these days.
yeah, they'd gladly trade it for some,
Yeah, most already
or
have.
use it.
It's turning into an antiquity that just hangs on the wall now. You know what I mean? It's not a driving force anymore, and it's
for
sad
as
to
lo-
see it.
for as long as you can, until it's banned, like the fucking General Lee and the old fucking rebel flag.
It's sad though, and to me, it is. It's sad to see the Constitution go in the way of
Yeah,
antiques.
it is. It's fucking terrible. It never should have fucking happened.
And I'm sure there's going to be a new one that's all SJW'd out.
The world constitution.
Yeah,
or
the the
the
Constitution of
the,
Equity,
the World Manifesto would
right?
probably be more appropriate.
So what else we got here? U.S. Justice Department withdraws its 2018 legal challenge to California's state net neutrality law. So what does that mean?
So basically, they're backing out. Let me see what I had on this.
Oh, okay. So they're basically um, the FCC rolled back its net neutrality policies, and then states like California sought to fill the void with their own laws. So by taking this step, they say the FCC in Washington is listening to the American people who overwhelmingly support an open internet and is charting a course to once again make net neutrality the law of the land.
Who's net neutrality?
Yeah, it sounds good. I'm
It sounds okay.
Because, Section 230 is the way that it's written is that it says that you have the right to moderate if the content is objectionable. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Objectionable by who? For what? You know what I mean? Can anybody object and then it can be censored? It's completely the antithesis of what the law is in our land. The First Amendment covers everything.
But even then, though, it's still only half the people can object, because you can object to anything fucking AOC says or find hate speech,
Right,
all over the place, and it doesn't work both ways.
Who's the arbiter of the term objectionable? You know what I mean?
The people that fortified this election.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what people that are investing a shitload of dollars to convince you about a vaccine right now as well.
People keep forgetting that when you give the government this power, that means that you're giving them the right to choose, to make the decision, to say what's objectionable or not. Like, I don't want the government being in charge of what is considered objectionable. That's anti-First Amendment. You know what I mean? You individually are the arbiter of what's objectionable. And the answer is the mute button, the block button, or the power button. You know what I mean? I do believe in net neutrality. I do believe that people should be able to be on the internet anonymously, and they shouldn't have to register with their real name and real information just to use the internet. But all of these laws and the Section 230 and the net neutrality, a lot of it is a lot deeper than that. It's not just surface level free internet. I always look for those statements like objectionable. Like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Unconstitutional. I know exactly what that means. Unlawful. I know exactly what that means.
It's just lawyer word salad.
Exactly. And it leaves
vague terms open to interpretation.
Right. They could interpret it any way they want, and it's a gray area, and everything could be objectionable. Everything.
And it is most of the time these days.
And it is. What do we got next on the Gab page?
But I mean, I was just taking a quick puff, but I think, this could go one or two ways. This is why I think Gab is so important and is going to be, a catalyst for some successful sites on the internet, because there's plenty of people out there that, want to be anonymous on the internet and aren't going to be fucking, committing hate speech or fucking,
I mean, I've noticed a lot of people recently within the last 6 months or so, a lot of Fed posting online, a ton of Fed posting. Like, oh, fucking, I got my guns. Like, that's probably not the best thing to put on the internet, guys.
Yep.
Enough Fed posting. talk about how you support the country, and we know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah,
not go
got
there. Let's
got
not
to
put
learn how to
age.
definitely have to learn how to talk in this, and learn how to not say too fucking much.
Yep.
But that's a problem a lot of people have, man. The first thing the cops tell you is that everything you say can and will be used against you.
Yep.
Same goes with the internet.
Yeah. If you do
Anything
it
you
in
post
public sphere,
can and will be used against you.
exactly, and especially something you post yourself to the public sphere, it will be, and the
Yeah.
internet doesn't forget. So,
But I
and
think that this is why
charity
it's
thing.
important. It's important to support sites that are fucking standing up for your fucking free speech and showing that there is a business model here and that it's profitable to protect free speech. So that way we guide the internet the way that we want it to be guided, you know?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
use your clicks wisely and
Yeah.
start promoting the sites that are fucking trying to promote you and your freedoms and your
Yeah.
liberties.
The same old idea of vote with your dollars. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? This is the same general idea. Vote with your clicks.
And hope that
Your
balls in your
clicks are more
court, Gab.
valuable than your dollars are now, you know?
Hopefully we could start live streaming there and maybe start making some change.
Yeah, we're
Help us
definitely
help
looking
you.
forward to the Gab moving to the next step of their operation here. And it's obviously getting better. I mean, a couple of months ago when the Great Purge happened, it was super slow. It was slow as could be. But now
Yeah,
it's starting to work better. I still see little hiccups here and there, but you know,
it's
I
fucking cool.
give them the benefit of the doubt, knowing that they're buying all their own servers. They're doing it all themselves. They've already been through getting kicked off of everything. So yeah, if anybody out there, if you're new on Gab, make sure you check out the Cord V Plugs podcast page. Stay up to date with the information that might be overlooked in the news.
Hit us with a subscribe on the Gab TV channel as well. Links in the description. All that, all that.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew Beaverson, clicks are more valuable than votes now. Clicks are more valuable than your dollars now. Your data is the most valuable thing. I don't know how else to say it, but the most valuable commodity in this world right now. It's all data.
Yeah, I mean, and they're using to build fucking. If you don't think for a second that some of that data isn't being used against you in the forms of like psychological profiles and basically a little AI version of you, so they can have a prediction model. Of just how far can we push this motherfucker before he's marching to DC?
Right. Yeah. And
They're
the
building a little personality of you, a little version of you.
right. And cross-referencing your data to when they can prove that you've heard this messaging this many times to see if your view changed with it. You know what I mean? Based on what you're looking at, based on what you're reading, based on who you're reading.
Yeah.
The effects of,
Trauma and stimuli.
exactly. They're taking all that shit into account on fucking quantum levels that we couldn't even understand in, everyday life.
Yeah, like, when you're scrolling, what sort of images make you stop and scroll back? How, what makes you scroll back a little bit faster?
Right? What
Is
do
your
you
camera on? Do they see what you're smiling at? What makes you not smile?
Yeah.
Like, interesting shit.
That's super interesting, especially with the news that came out today that apparently the FBI has a toolkit that lets them read signal messages on the Signal app, which are supposed to be completely encoded.
Well, on to the next one if you're using that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Even like with Gab, it's the old Field of Dreams adage. If you build it, they will come. If you build it and it's built for what people are asking for, you know what I mean? If you build a free platform that doesn't fucking trade in people's data and keeps privacy concerns private, then people will come.
They just got to wake up and see what they're missing.
I refuse to believe that the loud majority, the majority of the people that are loud, I think I call them the outspoken minority. I refuse to believe that they are anything more than the minority. You just hear them the most. The majority of people got way too much shit fucking their regular life to deal with, way too much on their mind. You know what I mean?
Yep. Not enough hours in the day for a lot of folks,
Yeah.
and too many for a lot of others.
Yeah, exactly. The hall monitors and the narcs and the tricks that are making up fake stories to tell on people about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There was a New York Times reporter, Taylor Lorenz, who put out a story yesterday saying that, I think it was yesterday, but she put out a story saying that somebody was using offensive language in a hangout room, and apparently the entire story was a lie. You know, the norm, New York Times.
The huge.
The huge.
I think our next story is going to be the New York Times piece. I don't know if I shared it or not, but if anybody knows anybody in Florida near Oldmar, Florida, make sure nobody's drinking the fucking water down there. And this ties into that Super Bowl commercial, with everybody rush out to get your electric cars.
Yeah.
Just be careful, man. Be careful. Anything with an internet connection, sort of like voting machines and data servers, are susceptible to hacking.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And this is what one smart person with a computer can do.
Yeah, imagine
entire
imagine some organizations or entities with billions of dollars and
warehouses full of hackers.
and all the intent in the world to get something accomplished.
Which a few Asian nations have warehouses full of hackers working around the clock.
I guess I didn't get the New York Times fucking piece. So I guess there's an app basically that you can download if you're not yet blocked on Twitter. # not yet blocked on Twitter.
Not yet
But
blocked.
but
I
you
wish
can
I could say that.
but you can download this app and it blocks anybody attached to the New York Times. I think it blocks and reports them all as well.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
Blocks and reports them. So I believe it's blocknyt.com. You go there, you sign in, and it will block every reporter that's affiliated with the New York Times. So I believe it's like 500 people on Twitter will get instantly blocked, instantly reported for misinformation.
But be advised, the app permissions are a little bit high, so maybe just block them yourselves, specific ones, but also be careful that you don't want to be surrounded with just the same thoughts.
It's a
it's good to keep your eye on the other side.
It's a funny story, but you should be leery about giving anybody too much control with their terms of service and your digital footprint.
Yeah, it's sort of a useless thing. I don't think all the app permissions are worthy.
But it's absolutely hilarious. Like, oh, you guys are surprised that we're using blacklists? The things that you guys have used for 20 years
Mm-hmm.
at New York Times? No, you couldn't possibly be offended that we're using your tactics against you.
And here's an article here about Facebook going, basically doubling down on their efforts to convince everybody of this vaccine. And again, these are the people that admittedly fortified this election, that said that they've admitting that they've been out there to shape the way people think and trying to educate people or re-educate people to their way of thinking.
There's been more news on that front as well from that Times article.
For at the same time pushing you to get vaccinated for a vaccine that they're saying does not does not immunize you, does not protect you from getting or transmitting this virus, let alone the numerous variants around the world.
Yeah, they're saying now that the new variants are not covered under these previous
So
vaccines.
not even a vaccine and 10 masks will help you.
Yeah,
So
and
what the fuck are we doing here?
they said that the new variant that came from the UK is already in 33 states.
And
By
yeah,
the way, everything's reopening now.
Yep, everything's great, but yep. By the way, none of these vaccines really work, and there's nothing that we can do. I know some people have been saying that for a long fucking time. Over almost a full fucking year now, and
Yeah, and they placed every
science.
one of those bodies on those people's feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You people are fucking. You're murderers. You're evil. You're sick. You don't give a fuck. No, we live in fucking reality, and we know cause and effect. And it's not fucking hard just by simply drawing upon experience. You can, guide your fucking path. You can get somewhere.
Maybe that's it, though. What you just said, drawing on experience. A lot of these people don't have real life experience. A lot of these people have worked for mainstream media their entire careers. You know what I mean? The White House press correspondent Jennifer Psaki has never had a real job ever. She's worked in politics and she worked for CNN, and that's it.
Her relationship with black people is the black frat house on campus.
Exactly.
We'll get what Wes thinks, but I'm pretty sure he's going to say them ain't black people.
Yeah, I mean,
those are the Kamala Harrises.
People look to
world.
these people for for guidance, but the people that they're looking to guidance for have never lived in the real world. Washington is not the real world. That's the problem, is that it's got our federal government has become too centralized. You know what I mean?
DC does have a huge GDP, though.
Yeah,
it is profitable. You know,
profitable.
that ghetto is making money, sort of like the slums and sweatshops of China.
Yeah, you're not allowed to not make money.
Property value maybe not so good, but we're making some money here.
We're pushing that shit out. Man, I just want to know, what has Biden not lied about so far? Has he told the truth about anything from the campaign or from his 50 years of prior service?
Said it was going to be a dark winter, and there's a good 1.5 feet of snow out there.
Yeah, and he did say that he was going to raise taxes.
Yeah, for sure.
He did say that. I guess that's the one lie, or the one thing that he's told the truth about so far. They say minimum wage is not going to be able to pass in this COVID relief bill. Is anybody surprised?
A lot of fast food workers are.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's surprised that's been paying attention, though.
Joe Biden's one of the good ones. He's a good white old man. He's not one of those racists.
Yeah.
He's not one of them two-faced politicians. He's a good one.
Apparently, he was shot at again. Did you hear that story? Well, he gave a speech to the Department of State the other day, and he said that you guys are all really good people, and some of you were with me when we were getting shot at. And this is a story that he told in the 80s that he was proven, in the 80s to be a lie, that he's never been shot.
Wow. Nice.
The closest thing is that I guess somebody fired a mortar within a couple of 100 yards of where he was. And they warned him and said, yeah, if they keep doing that, we're going to have to go somewhere else. But they never had to.
One big round he was shot at, huh? Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, people were with him when they were being shot at.
He like literally almost died.
For real. Maybe he just wanted to get in on that victimhood being passed around in Washington. It's like, I almost died once too. Me too.
Huh? Trying to be the next John McCain. I'm a hero. John McCain's been dead for a little bit, so Joe Biden probably forgot he ever existed. He just thinks that he's John McCain.
Yeah.
You know, those are his memories.
I wrote that speech. I got to throw another log on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, that's some funny shit. Joe Biden has all these memories of John McCain's POW stories. Thinks they're all his memories.
Joe Biden's so old that conversations he had with people 20 years ago, now he just thinks that happened to him. He's like, oh, yeah, one time when I was giving labor, I passed out and I pooped on the doctor. So, besides that, the next biggest story is Trump impeachment starts tomorrow.
CNN will be thrilled.
Oh, they're already thrilled.
They were dying.
MSNBC, CNN, these guys are in it.
Trump watch. Trump's first sighting in weeks.
Man, we can't wait to get rid of Trump. It's going to be so great when Trump's just gone. And they're like, oh yeah, we won. Trump's gone. This is great. So fun. I wonder what Trump's doing. They know they miss him. They know that most of them are getting fired within the next couple of years.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, CNN's going to be going over some big changes.
Yeah, CNN might cease to exist.
Oh, it ain't going nowhere. That government-funded media ain't going fucking nowhere.
Apparently, it's owned by what the fuck? I forgot who owns it. Actually, yeah, the CNN guy, the guy that was James O'Keefe. Remember when he ambushed him on his daily morning call?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, that man is also stepping down from the chairman of CNN.
See ya.
I think the writing's on the wall. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. I brought it up earlier, very shortly, and never went into it. But the news on the that New York Times article, the developments since the article has come out are AT&T. There you go. Thank you, Sharon. AT&T owns CNN, and it's on the block. It's for sale right now. But with that Times article, there was an interview of the man from the ACOIJ, I think, the organization that did most of the hard work in that New York Times article. That man did an interview, the guy that was named in the article, and they asked him about Biden canceling the pipeline. And he said that, of course, that was a horrible idea, that he wishes that Joe Biden would have paired it with the news of other jobs that he was going to be creating instead of, learn
to code.
Exactly. So basically, he's a union head, and they're selling out the unions. They're in the process of selling out the unions, and he's still trying to run fucking cover for this administration. And his body language in this interview was absolutely horrendous. Like he knew he was caught, and he there was no way out.
Mm-hmm.
And not
Yeah, there's
just
gonna be.
that, but the head of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, who worked in unison with that guy to do the fortifying, stepped down the day after the article came out.
Nice.
So
It was a confession. I need my payout, so I'm gonna fuck. We're gonna out this shit.
exactly.
Get paid to go away.
Exactly. Since it went public, I think it's time for me to ride off into the sunset.
You're welcome, America. Just remember
that shit for you.
Yeah. Remember what we did here, because all that matters is the clout.
Yeah.
They couldn't
remember we're the good guys.
Yeah,
Just remember, in the future, we're the good guys.
Patronizing people for for merely suggesting that we were doing this, that all of this was going on.
Yep.
Fuck you guys. Fuck you all.
Regardless, that the letter seems a lot less insane after reading that story and seeing what's been happening as a direct result of that story so far. Because if you think the head of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce was going to retire this week, I got a bridge to sell you. You know what I mean? But not just that, but also, what do you think about the Democrats being able to remove Republicans from their committees? Do you think that sets a precedent at all? Or is it just precedent nowadays?
Well, seeing as how every day is, like a cataclysmic event, I think precedent has been the new normal for about 8 months now.
Yeah.
Everything's just been monumental, earth-shattering, ground-shaking events. So I think this is just where we're at now.
I tend to agree with you that it is precedent, but one day, you know what I mean? Like Mitch McConnell famously said, you will live to regret this day, and it'll be sooner than you think. Because not only are they passing legislation without any bipartisan support, they literally had 2 votes in Congress, and both of them are going to be passed with 0 Republican support. 0. So now we've just entered the age of whatever they want, they get because they have the numbers. And not only that, but they could decide who the other party puts on committees now.
Yeah. Complete censorship of ideas and, at the grandest scale, to where you can't even suggest change or even be included in fucking,
But it's crazy because it's almost as if they don't realize that they lost seats in the House, and they only need to lose a couple of more seats in the House and 1 seat in the Senate, which is gonna happen.
I think they have way more faith in their media machine and their fortifiers. I think they're going to fortify the shit out of the next 4 years.
Yeah, you think the fortification is going to move from the presidential election all the way down the line to Senate and House of Representative elections as well?
They have only begun to fornicate.
We've barely begun to fortificate.
To fortify, but I just wanted to get that fornicate joke in there somehow.
For sure. It's the pedo renaissance, man. We already showed you. This is it.
It's what they're doing. They're certainly bending everybody fucking over.
How emboldened was Mr. Vasiluigi? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These people are feeling great about their lives right now.
Fucking heroes.
Heroes, exactly.
Just like Hunter Biden, Robert Downey Jr., the next Robert Downey Jr. We're all heroes.
Brave and beautiful.
Unless you try to march to Washington, D.C. to give the president a piece of your mind.
Well, like that really doesn't matter, you know. You show the videos of the people talking about if we don't get it, burn it down, you know.
Yeah. I guess yeah. It's crazy how quick it flipped.
But it never really did flip. You know what I mean? It flipped in the streets. It flipped, but in perception, that never happened. They don't do that. No one marches through the streets and calls for violence on the left. That doesn't happen.
I was saying it flipped as opposed to people believing the illusion, people having the illusion that they're thinking, that one group is subhuman and that large groups of people thinking that it's okay to fucking murder them, base. And
Oh
now
yeah,
it's, oh, this is bad. This is bad. You shouldn't treat anybody like this. Can't you even see what you're doing to
my favorite
immediately
tweets.
doing this shit to somebody else?
My favorite are the tweets that say, "I'm against the prison system, but these Trump supporters deserve prison." It's like, oh yeah. Tell me more. You're against the prison industrial complex, you say, but nothing
But
good
I,
comes
but,
after a but.
but I just bought 10 shares.
Right? But I stayed in a Holiday Inn fucking Express last night, so
I may not be an institutional. I'm not an institutional racist. If you're not black, if you don't vote for me, but my name is on every single crime bill for the last 40 years.
Exactly. It almost sounds like you put too many black people in jail, Joe Biden, on purpose. If I wasn't an educated man, I would assume that you did that on purpose.
My first wife told me about racial jungles. I was petrified.
And then she died in a car accident, and I married the babysitter.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, that woman.
Yeah. At least I had the common decency to wait till my wife died. How come nobody's really talked about that story? You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, they've talked to his wife and kid dying in a car accident to death, but how come nobody's talking about how he married his babysitter?
Because it's too loosely, you could associate that with Hunter Biden going at his brother-in-law's wife.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
these Bidens will fuck anything that's close to him.
Right? And all you got to do
He
is
just starts humping the couch cushions,
be in close proximity for long enough.
The Hunter house, the Biden house had spray bottles with water in it to spray fucking Hunter off the furniture.
Right? We got company. Can you imagine if the spray bottle with a piece of tape on it that said Hunter?
Yeah, it would have to say something. You got to make sure that they're not spraying him with fucking the cleaning product, I would guess. So yeah.
Sharon, there's a minor detail that I didn't mention there, that he married his married babysitter.
Dun dun dun.
Minor detail.
Classy fellas.
You know.
Those Bidens are classy fellas.
You know, just those Scranton boys, I guess. Mm-hmm. Coming up in the rough streets of Scranton. Guys having to contend with Corn Pop. I really wish Corn Pop wasn't dead and he could verify that story. He'd be like, Joe who? Yeah, I beat that little cracker's ass when we were younger. I'd love to hear from Corn Pop these days. But yeah, there's so much to that story that nobody wants to talk about, man. What I'm gonna do, maybe not before the next podcast, because the impeachment's going to be everything for the next couple of weeks, I'd imagine.
What
But-
comes out, what doesn't come out, what's admitted, not admitted.
Right. Or just what their basic argument is. It's going to be huge, especially because it's unconstitutional. But whatevs. But yeah,
Constitution, Constitution.
the thing that I want to look up is I distinctly remember Joe Biden saying on multiple occasions that I promise you this as a Biden. I give you my word as a Biden. So I want to go back into the campaign season and pull out all the times he said, I give you my word as a Biden, and see what he says right after that and see if he's lied so far. Because I think that even more than lying, to stake your family's reputation on your word, knowing that your family doesn't have the greatest reputation to begin with, I think that would make a great video, almost as good as the Jen Psaki circle back video, where she says we're going to circle back about 83 times in the first 5 days of work.
I'm just gonna go out and say, in case you don't know, the Biden name don't mean shit.
Right? It's for anybody out there that might think that Joe respects his own word. He doesn't care. And Kamala Harris is the same thing. You know what I mean? She basically called him a racist rapist in the fucking campaign. It was a debate.
Yeah, that whole it's crazy that nobody talks about that shit at all. The whole Me Too movement, it's gone. Just like racism, nobody kneeling at the national anthem for the Super Bowl. Cancer's gone, the flu's gone, the cold's gone.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
Yeah, debate is gone. Disagreement is even gone.
Yeah, exactly, because you can't disagree because you ain't on the fucking committee to disagree.
Mm-hmm. You weren't at the meeting. We decided already.
Yeah.
The Uniparty. Uniparty is asshole. That meme was never going to get old to me. China. Don't trust China. China is asshole.
He's an asshole. Yeah. For sure.
I love that shit. That might be my favorite meme of the last couple of years. Yeah, does anybody even care about fucking Hong Kong anymore? Or it's just written off now? Hong Kong's gone? It's another one of those does anybody remember a bombing in Nashville?
Man,
you know what I mean?
Hong Kong didn't even exist for most of the population.
Yeah.
They couldn't point that place out on a fucking map.
True.
They don't know if it's the capital of fucking China or Japan.
Right. It just shows you that the free Hong Kong people, what side they were on to begin with. They weren't on the liberal Democrat.
Hong Kong?
Right.
Oh no, man! I get my shit from First Chop Suey, or if they're really white, it's Panda Express. They don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Mostly all my shit comes from South Korea. Yeah, people don't realize Hong Kong, Nashville bombing. You know what I mean? But fuck, you talk about inauguration or the 6th. Every fucking person in the world knows the 6th. They've been running the video on repeat since then. Fear. These people, they want to kill us. It's like, dude, there was one act of violence, and it lasted a couple hours, and then it was done. And there have been 0 instances since then. 0. But there's still fucking 7,000 troops in DC. There's still razor wired fucking anti-climbable fence all around the whole fucking city.
It ain't going nowhere.
What's that really for? Because it's not for Trump supporters. Trump supporters went ham one day and they were like, oh shit, we ain't gonna do that again. We're all terrorists now. You know what I mean? What are they? What's it for? I think it's to protect. It's to protect the leader of the people from the people, I think.
It's absolutely. You can't go knock on the door. Are they doing tours at the White House? Is Biden going to be accepting tours, or it's just going to be little kids after graduation?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I doubt they are doing tours, and they're probably just blaming it on COVID. Everything, everything has an air about it now. Now we could just get rid of it. Blame it on COVID. It'll be fine.
Trump's gone, so you got to blame it on COVID now. But COVID's only this bad because of Trump, so it's still connected.
Yep. And when Joe Biden ruins the economy over the next 4 years, he's going to say, oh, it's Trump's economy, just like they said that Obama's economy was Trump's economy. You know what I mean? They're gonna push that narrative as well.
I'm reading about people angry about they might not be getting their $1,400 stimulus if they make the minimum, like if you've made over $50,000 or $60,000.
Yeah.
But just people reportedly saying, I was banking on that money already. Well, you're an idiot. Yeah. You're fucking stupid, and you're probably and you're responsible for every single one of your fucking problems. I don't know if anybody's told you that recently or not. Should not be fucking living off money you don't have in your fucking hands, for one, let alone money from the fucking a supposed promise from a fucking government, man.
Yeah, a promise from a politician.
Banking on it.
You know how many people have lost their fucking livelihoods from banking on promises from politicians? Lots. Let's just say lots.
And that, my friends, is once again why votes are more dangerous than guns.
Much more dangerous than guns. What do you think about the Wyoming GOP censoring Miss Cheney now? Since the vote nationally didn't go over, her own constituents and her own party in her home state have censored her, which is basically the stiffest slap on the wrist that you can get as a politician.
She's gonna cross party and go somewhere else. She's gonna officially cross party.
Her latest
but she's gonna run as a supposed fucking middle ground, because I was on one side and now I'm on the other side because they wouldn't have me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's definitely already a Democrat in my eyes, but.
Yeah. I think she's gonna officially do it just how Ron Paul had to officially run as a Republican,
Mm-hmm.
But
her latest stance is that Trump cannot be the leader of the GOP. That's what she says. That Trump will not be the leader of the GOP moving forward, which once again, in my opinion, is just master projectionist. It's projectionism again. Because she will never lead the GOP. So she's just poisoning the well. Not just that, but I believe Ben Sass was also censured by his home state's GOP. And
yeah, there's another one today.
I think three other representatives, either representatives or senators, I can't remember off the top of my head, but announced today that they will not be running for office again. So
change is only begun.
Yep.
There's definitely a transformation period going on right now. The government's getting its hormone therapy.
Yeah. For as much as they went hard after Marjorie Taylor Greene, you could say that she is the new face of the GOP, seeing as how they're villainizing the GOP and villainizing her.
Get Bobert's ass in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Need to get it together. But also that reminds me that Candace Owens is now publicly talking about a presidential run.
Yep, you called that shit ahead of the game for sure.
Needs to happen just for the sake of everything, what Kamala was supposed to be. Just getting these ideas out, having a young face, new ideas. It's
I don't see any reason.
Need more of that. Need competition, man. We need to flood the market with competition.
I think that a Candace Owens Ron DeSantis debate would be fire.
She'd be good debating a lot of fucking people. Actually, be some fucking some must watch TV.
Realistically, who do you think are going to be the people on the panel at the debate for this next presidential election on the Republican side? Do you think Nikki Haley runs?
A lot of things need to come to pass. This Trump impeachment shit, where what's going to happen as far as a Patriot Party or a GOP. I need to see where that shit goes. I need to see a few more things happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Because things could change so much within a fucking week, and 3 people that we fucking bring up could be completely out of the fucking game,
Yeah, for sure. They could die from COVID next week.
Yeah. It's interesting though. It's fun to think about. It's fun to prognosticate to myself, think about many outcomes, but I have to think about, what can happen, what can't happen, different scenarios.
There's a couple of people I'd be super interested to see run, like Pompeo, or even see what Trey Gowdy's going to do with the rest of his fucking career. I like Trey Gowdy a lot.
I don't think Pompeo's big enough to get a movement though, man. You're gonna have to fight a little bit of fire with fire.
Pompeo.
The candidate's gonna have
definitely. I don't think he has a following right now, but I think that he can over the next 4 years. He's just somebody I'm interested in personally.
Anytime I've seen him speak, it's been fucking dope. But he's not good. He doesn't have the self promotion.
Yeah, right. He doesn't have the infrastructure.
But I mean, he should definitely be in government for sure.
Yeah, people like him is exactly what we do need as a nation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And even he's been villainized because he put America first as not just a tagline. You know what I mean? It was actually his the ethos of when he was running the State Department. You know what I mean?
Anytime I've seen him speak, I've been impressed.
I think he actually brought respect back to the Secretary of State's office, for sure. From the last couple of Secretary of States we had with John Kerry and Hillary Clinton, where it was just a fucking mafia, Yeah, send the money over here and then we'll talk. Returning to, what the department was built on, what the foundations were in the founding, instead of what they've turned into,
A fucking fun house. Not even a fun house. It's like when they tent a fucking building to fumigate it. Yep. Fucking the White House got the whole Washington D.C. has got the fucking just a big fucking hazmat circus tent over it.
Yeah, for sure. It's not the beacon of hope it once was. That's for damn sure.
No, it looks like a fucking prison to me. Looks like county jail down on California. You guys come to Chicago if you don't have to go to the Capitol to see the Capitol.
Right, and it's sad because all those buildings are owned by us. Those are our buildings. They're not theirs. You know what I mean? They're all fenced off and militarized.
You can now tour your nation's capital at your local county jail.
Yep. Gotta love the militarization of the country. Isn't that what we protested for a year? This past year?
I wasn't protesting. I was at work, but some people claim to be protesting over some of that.
Nothing says unity like military occupation. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I
What's
think
it
they've
called?
already
Being
resigned
authorized to
themselves to
kill.
saying fuck unity.
And we just protested and burned down, most of our country, a large portion of our country over the summer, over unnecessary murders and killings by authority. So let's give these motherfuckers, what's it called? Lethal authorization
Yeah,
to use lethal force.
exactly. Let's stop protesting the militarization of police and just replace them with the actual military. So
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get away with this shit if people were paying attention.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Motherfuckers are asleep at the wheel, daydreaming.
Nah, that'll never happen here. That could never happen here.
Or the other half is, I'm a victim because this is happening here, but these soldiers, these guys are on my side.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Don't you think we need the security in
They
Washington
these
right
ones
now?
aren't racist. They vetted them. They only support Biden. These are just Biden's guys.
Right.
His own
So
little secret military.
So the next time, the next president can purge the military again and make sure they're all his guys afterwards. You know what I mean? What if the Democratic debate gets a little too fiery? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly? What if some hot shot troop that loves Master Biden a little bit too much doesn't get upset and
Right, or not just
take out
that, because we know the Republicans probably never going to win again with 20 million brand new Democratic voters.
yeah.
But what if the Democratic Party splits? What if it goes liberal against progressive? Then what? You know what I mean? Then
You're gonna see the machine push Rand Paul as a uniparty candidate,
yeah, right.
and I hope his father slaps the shit out of him.
Craziness, man. It's absolute insanity.
Can you try to be a little bit like your daddy, Rand? Just try to be a little bit like your fucking daddy for me, please. I wish he was my fucking dad. Jesus Christ, Rand Paul. The man I could have been with that motherfucker raising me. Fuck.
It's a wacky state of affairs, but it's entertaining.
Yep. As entertaining as
Watching
a Hunter
the world
Biden memoir.
We got front row seats to the apocalypse. Oh, MSNBC has George Conway, one of the other co-founders of the Lincoln Project, on TV right now again, because apparently that's acceptable.
Gotta get them, their apology time on TV so they can save their brand.
No, yeah, he's talking about the impeachment. He doesn't give a shit about.
Yep. Oh yeah. The story's Trump, not
Yep.
not us harboring pedophiles. Not us associating with them and allowing them to operate for decades.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
There ain't no pedos here, not in this government. No, no, no.
There will come a time where everything is put out in the open. You know what I mean? The shit will not be secret forever.
You can't say pedo, you racist conspiracy theorist.
Right?
Go to jail. Go to jail. There are no rape pedos here, but there are insurrectionists.
Yeah, exactly. There's terrorists. There's literal Al Qaeda in our country. It's like, dude, you guys stole the
Al
election. They blew off
KKK?
steam for a couple hours.
Did we just tagline Al KKK?
Al KKK.
I think we got something here.
Great. That's great. We went from the party of the KKK to the terrorist party in America, just like that.
I think that might be the title of the next episode.
Yeah, right. It probably will be with what happens tomorrow in the impeachment.
Al KKK.
That's so funny. Project Lincoln should all be ashamed of themselves. They should be disavowed by everybody of note.
Because that's a thing. Since we're doing disavowing, I guess that should happen. But no, they should be fucking disbanded and disbranded, and they should be under investigation.
Yeah. I mean, because it's not normal to go into business with, over $100 million invested with people that you don't know personally. I'm not buying it that nobody knew. I'm not buying it. What was that?
Karl Rove knew. There's
Yeah.
published articles being dismissed by supposed journalists, by supposed trusted sources.
Yep.
The fact checkers.
I wonder if they still claim that police officer is murdered tomorrow.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. We should have some juice for the next episode.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah. It will be juicy. There will be plenty of sauce.
We might actually have some live shit going on. So we might actually have some live reaction and analysis.
Yeah, we could do a watch along on Wednesday. Because I think tomorrow is going to be mostly like their opening statements, what they're gonna.
I don't know. I thought I saw it was it's like 16 hours over 2 days. So I think each one's getting they're each getting their own day. They're each getting like 8 hours to fucking present their case. So I don't know who's going first or second. It'd be the prosecution.
Yeah, usually it would be the accuser first and then the defendant second. It's a shame. It's a complete shame.
So this is where Trump busts out his new plane, twice the size of Air Force One.
Yep. He's just going to build his own democracy. Washington, D.C. Incoming.
Well, he better find some... I don't know.
It's going to be a game show to see who his cabinet members are. He's like, all right, go make peace in the Middle East. But you have to walk there.
Get Iran to fucking commit to this new nuclear deal.
Right? You want to be the Secretary of State? Get Iran on board. You got 26 hours. The Department of Defense, he's just going to hire like Chuck Pagano.
He better not. He better get Vic.
Right? Get Vic Fangio out of retirement.
Oh, yeah. This looks like a mosh pit. This footage that CNN is showing right now at this fucking it looks like the softest fucking mosh pit in the fucking world, man.
It's so funny that now it's a month later and there hasn't been one single day where CNN didn't loop that same footage over and over and over again. It's like they're just beating it into your head. This happened. Don't forget this
Yeah.
happened. Don't
Yeah.
forget this happened. Yeah, it was only like an hour and a half, but
Like I don't know if anybody's seen what it looks like when a new pair of Nikes drops at the stores.
kind of
Check
like
that out. They're just giving out the new Democracy J's, the DC editions.
that's great. Anarchists are so happy.
Hell, one guy was smart as fuck. There's this camera. He's got his hat completely covering his face. He saw that camera right there. He's like, nope, nope.
No.
Or he's an agent, and that's one of the agitators. One or the other. He's either smart as fuck or he's one of them boys.
That reminds me about what do you think about Bank of America uh handing over information to the feds about people that were just in Washington D.C. They had credit cards charged in Washington D.C. that day, and no matter what, no matter if they were involved or not, they shared the information with the feds, people's personal financial information.
That's why I don't fuck with banks.
Yeah, Bank of America really
I
living
mean,
up to its namesake, you know.
not just why. I mean, the other reason is, my money being lented out and being used to fucking drop bombs all over the fucking world. Shit like that. But it's one of many reasons why I fuck banks.
Shit's wild, man. Just to think of the breakdown of privacy of, I guess if you're doing business with a
But
corporation,
here's
you
the
know,
thing. It's like the way I look at it is that in the eyes of the government and the people in charges, there never was privacy as far as you're concerned. It's just that there wasn't the means for you to for them to fucking have this control over you. But
yeah,
if they had the Wi-Fi and all this shit out there,
yeah,
if it was cheap enough for them to have cameras on every corner, I mean that's what it would have been instead of the fucking nightly patrolman. This
yeah,
is this is the world that they want to live in, that they've wanted to live in because they are afraid of us. Joe Biden is petrified of the fucking everyday man. He's definitely petrified of racial fucking jungles. So
yeah, yeah.
he's scared of the fucking racist white man. He's scared of the evil super predator. I guess that's why he wants all the illegal the Mexicans and the Arabs here, because he wants the blacks and whites out. He hates us both equally.
Yep. He likes Chinese though.
That's why Chinese are the new white. It's all
Yep.
coming together. We're getting the plan.
Yeah.
The Polishes are now the blacks. The Chinese are now the whites.
It's crazy how much things change in one generation, ain't it?
Yep, there's no such thing as gender. We're all just theys. But yet we're all not black and we're all not white. but we can't all be theys.
Yep. Ungendered.
You can only be, things that break you up into different groups. You can't all be one thing. We don't talk about those things. We talk about the differences. Just the little groups that you can be in, not the big groups.
Yeah, right. Our group. That's all you're allowed to be. If you're not in the in crowd, you're on the outs. There should be some fireworks over the next couple of days. This should be the last guffaw of Trump.
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens with those intelligence briefings. That's an interesting thing.
Yeah. Yeah, super interesting. Why?
So, breaking news: AOC is now claiming that she never said Ted Cruz almost had her murdered, and I've got the Posto's got the post right here from January 28th. I'm happy to work with Republicans on this issue where there's common ground, but you almost had me murdered 3 weeks ago, so you can sit this one out directly to Ted Cruz
Yep.
on January 28th.
She just thinks that because she says it, that she can make us believe it.
Where's the fact check? Where's the birdwatch on this shit?
Mm-hmm. Where's the picture of her outside these new underage immigrant detention facilities?
Oh, here we go. What do we got? Let's see if we can hear her.
And tweeted that he tried to have you murdered at Capitol.
Okay, so that's not the quote,
Okay.
and I will not apologize for what I said. I think we're actually done this morning.
So she said that's not the quote, but she didn't apologize. So she's not really backtracking at all. But that's not the quote. That's literally the quote.
That's literally the quote. Like,
you almost had me murdered 3 weeks ago.
I quote. And I quote, you almost had me murdered. Oh, man, what a joke. What a shill. Complete shill.
I'm sure she'll have her mailing list up in arms today, making sure everybody gets reported for tweeting this one.
And everybody's focused on her being a shill, like always.
Or, I mean,
and then
go ahead.
I was just going to say, and then we have where the actual evil lies with Pelosi and Schumer, who are just slinking off into the shadows right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Letting the distractions play out the way they want.
I don't know. Maybe she's taking the bad press fucking angle and just saying, fuck it. Even if they're calling me Ocasio Smollett, at least they're talking about me.
Yeah, I think
because they could just spin it in their little chambers.
I kind of think that now that she's taken a very, very public L, she's probably not going to be a politician for very long. I don't think she has it in her. I don't think she knows how to take L's. You know what I mean? Because I think this is just going to spin. It's just going to keep spinning. She's just going to keep taking L's off of this one original L because that's what happens with liars.
Yeah, she's just on the fucking downward spiral now.
Yep. And her TikTok fans are not going to be able to save her. Not that they're the ones that actually got her elected. You know what I mean? The people in her district are fucking idiots. I mean, her district is rich enough where they don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead, change any rule you want. We're fine.
Rule schmools. None of these words mean anything. We speak in English. We speak Spanglish now.
But if people can't recognize being a complete shill and a complete distraction from real problems in our fucking life, I don't know what to say. It's like just go to the bar if you want a hot bartender. You know what I mean? Don't put her in fucking the House of Representatives.
Some more pedo news. There's a cheerleading show on Netflix.
Yeah, cheer.
And just had sex crimes committed by the members of the show.
Yeah, 2 more got arrested the same day that Republican from DC got arrested. And that makes the total number from that show 3. 3 child pornography peddlers arrested from the one Netflix show. Funny enough, you know who sits on the board of directors at Netflix?
Who's that?
Susan Rice, who one-time Obama administration fame.
No relation to Condoleezza.
Condoleezza Rice.
Man, there's just all sorts of loosely associated high profile pedos and the Obama administration just thick as thieves, you might say.
It definitely is, man. There's definitely a pattern emerging. Wouldn't you?
Sort of like there's a pattern of Clintons and dead people. There's a pattern of the Obama administration and unchecked pedophilia. Rampant, right under their nose. Just
It was there the whole time, and I would have got away with it if it wasn't for these pesky kids.
Yep, and that's why we got to shut down this internet because they keep fucking reporting, and we can't stop the stories. We can't control the 4chans. These fucking hacker chans.
Yeah, the
Don't say the letter. Yep.
I'm just waiting for the next good meme that comes out of 4chan if it doesn't get fucking nuked. You know what I mean? Like, what's next? They already came up with the Keck flag. They already came up with the OK sign as white supremacy. They came up with the frog, the Pepe frog, that has been the ire of all Democrats for the last 5 years. What's going to be the next troll that gains national support as a sign of hate that means absolutely nothing? Like, that's not a sign of hate. That's a troll.
Have you never met an angry kid on the internet?
Right?
Do we live in the same world?
Have you never played Call of Duty? Seriously? I've never played a game where some 12-year-old didn't have sex with my mom.
You don't even have to play. You just got to sit in the lobby.
Right? It's just hard R, hard R, hard R, hard R,
Yeah.
hard R, hard R, hard R.
Hard R gay slur.
Yep. I fucked your mom.
It is fucking. I'm not gonna lie. Every once in a while, it's just funny. Just when somebody just immediately just drops like 15 hard R's rapid fire. It's just like, man, how sad is your fucking life? And I'm not laughing at what they're saying. I am laughing at them. And it's just like also just laughing at the fact that the internet will never change.
Yep. Never. Doesn't matter. Censor the shit out of it.
Yeah, the internet will not grow up.
For people under 18, the hard R will never die.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you start letting white people say it again, and then it will immediately be uncool and nobody will say it anymore. Like, whoop, there it is. And
like, who let the dogs out?
Exactly. Take its power away. Give it to the white people.
That's kind of the camp I'm in, though. The hard R should just die. You should let it die. Let it go away. Keeping it around is doing nobody any good.
Rappers are profiting.
Yeah, because hard R rhymes with hard R.
Yeah.
Like, Lil Wayne would not have a career if hard R did not rhyme with hard R.
Don't do my man Wayne like that. I'm gonna put my foot down right there, goddammit.
It's funny because the one song that I knew from the Super Bowl halftime show was the song that I actually liked, the Starboy.
I don't know the names of none of his songs.
Yeah, the first song that he sang is the song that I actually like, and it's like, I don't know why. I'm not a big Weeknd fan. That song in particular I like.
Blizz has always been a Thursday guy.
Yeah. The weekend starts on Thursday. Throw another log on the old fire here, keeping it nice and toasty in the blizzard. The great blizzard of 2021. The cold dark winter commencing.
Yeah, no, he did. Bill Gates did not finish college, Sharon.
Sure didn't.
Cop taking a quick peek at Twitter.
Yeah, right
Did
on.
not. But if you ask many of the people, on Facebook or on Twitter, science is in charge now. The college educated are in
Yeah,
charge now.
the adults are speaking, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you hear about the news that in the UK, apparently over 400 university officials are now suspected of sharing military secrets with China over the last couple of years?
Nuts.
You remember about a year ago when they started arresting Stanford professors for
Oh, they just got another one a couple days ago.
yeah. So apparently it's not just us. UK was not very good at making sure their secrets were not getting out.
Yeah, and people love watching spy movies and all this espionage shit and playing video games and don't think for a second that this shit's actually happening.
Right.
There's North Korea has a lot of people over there that it's China too that are accused of espionage. Some probably are.
Yeah.
More than a few.
You remember the list of Chinese operatives that are abroad that came out a couple months ago that has vaguely just vanished? Nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah, and those people, because they don't want you figuring out where the fuck those people are, because they're not on the face of the earth anymore. Most likely, probably not one name on that list is still breathing.
It's fucking wild, man. It's just like such short attention spans, such short memories people have.
Yeah, by design.
That's why I like asking people if they remember the Nashville bombing, like
It's
it
like
happened 10 years ago or something.
They started giving kids pills for ADD, and they said, "Hey, wait a minute, we don't want them paying attention."
Yeah. Giving kids.
And we could just tell these fuckers that whatever we want. Tell them that's the answer, and they'll go right with it. Nobody wants to investigate or actually learn anymore, find out for themselves. They just want to be told the answer. So we'll just tell them this is what happened.
Actually type in a phrase into the Google machine by themselves. They want to be told what the answer is.
Yep. Motherfuckers cheating their way through grad school.
Yeah, just like all the people that thought that a police officer was murdered at the Capitol.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Cheating their way through grad school, like less common sense than old man riding his bike collecting cans his whole fucking life.
Yeah, like what's her name? Lori Laughlin's daughter that was on the row team that never rode a day in her life. And
still, that whole family still banking off of Full House.
Right? It's crazy though, you know what I mean? That's what privilege is. It has nothing to do with what color you are. It has to do with what class you exist in. If you're the upper entertainment class, if you have enough zeros in your bank account, you don't even have to go to school. You just buy the piece of paper. I really wish people would stop talking about undermining democracy. Like, first of all, the people that came up with the idea of democracy hated the idea. Look it up. Like, Socrates was not a fan of democracy. But everybody else is now.
Well, I mean, you can't really be for democracy if you've actually sat and thought about how it would work, throughout history or even today.
True.
Everybody gets a text alert that, all right, we're voting on this at 9 a.m. Half the fucking world would fucking be late. They wouldn't fucking open it. they'd fucking, or couldn't be fucking bothered. Nothing would fucking get done. And the mob rule way of doing things, we've all, I think everybody has been protesting one form or another that isn't the way we should be doing things either. Right?
You would think. You would think.
I think basically, man, one solution could be is we all get our land. That land is your land. That is your own little sovereign nation. You could choose to interact with whoever the fuck you want. You could choose to not interact with whoever the fuck you want. But I think it simplifies a lot of things.
Yeah, I think that America has been one of the only corporations in the world that is not beholden to its shareholders. I think that we're all shareholders in the corporation that is.
No, we're not. We're the shares. Your social security number is you're a share. You ain't holding shit.
Yeah, well, you're completely right about that.
Somebody's holding your ass.
Yeah, and we're just being day traded.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, they're not beholden to us at all. It reminds me of what a great man once said on Twitter. He said that for far too long they have been enriching themselves. I sure missed that guy. We didn't deserve him. It's funny when I talk like that, some people actually take me seriously and think that, he's a deity of some sort.
Well, a lot of people do take him as that.
Yeah, I would never. You know what I mean? I don't idolize any man, even the ones I'm supposed to.
Not even the nature boy Ric Flair?
Nope. He was a horseman, that's for sure, but no idol. Beware of false idols and false prophets. Well, what do you guys think? People in the chat, what do you think about the impeachment? Do you think it's going to be fireworks, or do you think it's going to be a boring couple of days?
Definitely won't be boring on CNN. There will be scowls aplenty.
Yeah.
There will be tears.
We have undoubtedly 100% shown you that Donald Trump murdered people.
Do you think that's why AOC's backtracking right now? She's suddenly trying to, be I guess critical of her comments, or what comes out of her mouth now, since stuff is going to court now, and very well she could be accused of
inciting violence.
Yeah, or at least at least be subject of all the censorship and banishment that she's suggesting other people should go through for saying things that either aren't true or violent.
Does anybody remember what comes around goes around? You know what I mean? I know it's the precedent schmeshedent era, but it's definitely setting precedent.
The era of schmeshedent. The schmeshedent era.
The schmeshedent era.
The schmeshedent administration.
Sharon's here says, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah, I mean, this is more, more just fucking nonsense. Yeah, patting themselves on the back in one side, but also them being, terrified of this man and wanting to send a message basically, just to further attempt to suppress his movement and any subsequent movements.
He's like the Frankenstein monster. You know what I mean? And they're the mob. It's a witch hunt.
That's decent. That's a good one. Trumpenstein.
Well, he only looks like a monster. Oh man, how many points do you think he would have got if he would have cut his fucking hair and just had a nice old man fucking buzz cut?
No, man, if he would have went skin bald like fucking
like Kojak.
I think I don't know. People probably it could have been legit. I think it could have been legit.
I think he easily would have gained 10 points in the polls if he would have changed his hairstyle over the last 4 years. Simple as that.
They would have called him a skinhead for a couple weeks, but then he could have just been,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. He could have never went completely skin bald. he would have had to have gotten like a policeman's haircut,
Or I don't know why he wouldn't, go and get the Urlacher shit, the Bosley or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then then you can trim it instead of walking around like Bill Murray and Kingpin. Check that movie out if anybody out there has not seen that movie.
You guys are not going to get takes like this anywhere else. Who else is talking about how many points Trump would have gotten if he would have changed his hairstyle?
I mean, but this is the world that we live in. This is the shit that matters now, not his his politics. Because the kids are still in cages, but Trump fucking changing his hairstyle very well could have won him the election.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, Assange would have did it.
Yeah. No,
at any point in time, he could have been the whole campaign would have like, I let Assange out 2 fucking years ago. What am I gonna do next? Just wait and see. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of things could have did it, if he could have pushed through the $2,000 checks right before the election, that probably would have changed a lot of minds.
He's too busy fighting people on all sides.
People just hate. People are just so driven by hate now.
Yeah, people do love. I mean, it's also a big part of this culture now too, is tearing shit down and
just critical
bashing people. Exactly. Yeah. People love to they love to build things up and they love to see it come crashing the fuck down.
Right. And they love to point out mistakes from the past. Like those aren't learning experiences. Those are opportunities to villainize,
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing now is the government has to villainize a portion of the population for their mistakes. Otherwise, the people might realize who's actually responsible for, these supposed injustices.
Exactly. We have to keep these guys on opposite sides. We cannot let them mingle. We need to separate them and sit them at opposite ends of the classroom. It's sad but true. There's so many things that we've talked about on this podcast so far. We've only been doing this for a couple months, and we've called so many things 2 weeks before mainstream media let the story out, and we've called attention to things that are just so blatant. You know what I mean? Just in your face. Like, how do you not see this? How can you not see this angle of what I'm looking at? Like the Biden administration governing with zero bipartisan support. It is mob rule. Like that's what it is now.
It's dictator shit.
Yeah, straight dictator shit. Remember fascism? You remember the tagline from the last 4 years? Fascism? I wonder what that looks like in practice.
It's fascismo now.
Yeah, fascismo. It's crazy. You know the Berlin Wall was called the wall of fascism. It was called the fascist demarcation line, I believe. Little known facts.
Oath Keeper's indictment is surfacing.
Yeah, they charged a bunch of Oath Keepers and a bunch of 3%ers, apparently 2 of each.
And some of the documents are coming out. Top secret clearance since 1979 with multiple SBIs.
Hey man,
FBI
anybody that did things that were illegal should face the consequences. And that goes for everybody on every side in every scenario. All the riots, all the fucking, whatever you want to call them, the mostly peaceful protests all summer long.
including the guy that shot Ashley Babbitt.
Including that man. If at the very least, fucking nonpartisan investigation.
I mean, yeah. Shouldn't he at least have to go to a sensitivity training class or some shit, I mean, come on, should we villainize him like the George Floyd guy or the Jacob Blake guy or the Laquan McDonald guy or the fucking Trayvon Martin guy?
Wasn't it funny how fast the police went from public enemy number 1 to our favorite people ever?
Just like the government, man. The government that has been committing all these atrocities, just like the police, suddenly all they had to do is say everything that they wanted to hear. And it's just such a breath of fresh air, I guess,
Yeah.
Took everybody by surprise. They never expected it. Because, I guess this is how snake oil salesmen were allowed to, prosper for so fucking long. Because the masses are just fucking dumb. Sorry, folks.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Some of you out there are dumb. You can work on that, though. The key is to, first suspecting that you might be dumb, and then work on it. But if you don't know you're dumb, if you don't think that you're dumb, then
think about
there's a problem.
Think about your extended circle, and think about who in that circle is the dumb one. And if there is no dumb one, I'm sorry to tell you that it's you. Let's work on it.
I mean, I'm just another hard R myself, but that's why I strive to learn as much as I can. I'm always striving to gain as much knowledge as I can.
Yeah, that's the what we were talking about last time. The midwit, the person that thinks that they know everything, and that everyone else is wrong if they don't.
Or even worse, that nothing out there is important enough to know. That none of it matters enough to know.
Yeah, I don't care about that. What do I need to know that for? It's just the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I
way
don't pay
things are gonna
taxes.
be run.
I pay sales tax, but that's all the government gets out of me. They give me money. Government pays me. I don't pay them.
If only it was that easy, right?
Well, it is. You just got to move to the parts of the west side, parts of the south side. You might be dodging bullets on your way to work or school, but there's a lot of everybody's wearing Jordans over there. So,
Well,
it can't be that bad, right?
Wyoming pays you to live there.
Yeah, it's interesting though, but you gotta have a remote job.
Yeah.
Which is why are you not accepting people in this program for when things go back to normal, or are we can only work jobs that you can do from home now?
Yeah, that's the new thing. They're gonna have.
It's literally learn to code, or you're fucked in this new world.
New metropolitan areas that are built around working from home.
The new sweatshop is your home office, and your sewing machine is a keyboard.
Yeah, you could work 18 hours a day if you want. We suggest that you do exactly that.
Yeah, just set a little fridge up, and you could set your desk up on the toilet, so you never have to get up. You just put a little fridge in the bathroom, and you never have to leave the comfort of your throne,
Welcome to my office.
your reclining toilet, and you can just fall right asleep when you're, wake up, get right back to work.
If they had it their way.
You'd be handcuffed to your reclining toilet.
Until you died. Which would
And then
probably
then they just
turnaround
turned
would be pretty quick.
and then they just turn on the airplane suction and suck you right into the toilet.
Funk.
A little bit of that COVID mist spray, and the next baby's getting strapped in.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered just about everything we need to cover today. I think tomorrow is going to be very interesting. I'm going to be glued to my laptop, probably playing Call of Duty the whole time in the background.
Yeah, I'm going to try to kill a couple thousand zombies tomorrow.
But we will be back on Wednesday, and it will be interesting. I'm sure we'll have a couple of takes that people haven't talked about, or a couple of angles that people weren't looking at it from. So stay tuned. And if there's anything you want us to talk about in particular, leave us a comment on the YouTube video or go to Gab at Chords V Plugs Podcast. We keep up with the Gab page as much as humanly possible. And if you have an important take or an important question, we'll definitely cover it on air.
Yeah, please like these videos when you see them, where you see them. So
all the stuff YouTubers and influencers say. We're not good at that part yet, so
it helps us out. We don't want to sound like we're begging and or badgering, but at the same time, it would help us out. So please. We are Chords V Plugs. Happy birthday, Wes. And if you're listening to this podcast, you are the resistance.
And we out.